customary. All right. Demarte just wants you guys to know that the only reason he didn't beat us into a pulp is because he feared what the law might do to him. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about the Bajan jokes, Demarte. They were a bit long-winded after a while. Even we got over them.
Yeah, they were enlightening, actually. It was fun, though.
But we have to have a laugh, I guess. But welcome to the show. Thank you for your time. I know it's something we've been discussing for quite a while, is to get you on here. I guess where it started was we were trying to figure out when your suspension is up, and that's pretty soon, isn't it?
Yeah, not really soon, but it's end of the year, so that's. But afterwards, I still have to speak to them and sort out a few things. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's close.
Nice.
Time flies.
So that causes quite a lot of excitement. But we'll get into all that. Anyways, how's things going? You're a busy man these days.
Yeah, you know.
Fighter turned promoter.
Yeah, and when you're not making money anymore from fighting, so you got to find other ways. And I think I've been doing a lot of other things outside of fighting, but I think the biggest thing was just to make money where I'm better at. So obviously I got the brand now, sell gloves and stuff, and also I got the promotion going. I think, yeah, it's going okay. Building slowly. Yeah.
None of them which are like very easy to make copious amounts of money, I would guess. The gym is hard, the fight brands are hard, promotions are hard. So how's that all working out for you?
You know, I think the easier way when you get a brand is that you got a lot of people come in the gym and naturally they want gloves.
Sure.
So I think that's a direct market that I can target. And now I'm also trying to sell the stuff in Angola, DRC, and Mozambique. So I think there the market is quite open, not like in South Africa where a lot of people they use a specific brand, which I won't mention.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So hopefully get more people to use my stuff. But I think there's quite a risk involved in using your own name because obviously what had happened and it tarnished my brand in a way. And then obviously some people don't like you in any case. So some people never use your brand because they don't like you.
It's a good thing we don't have a brand in it. We'd have one sale.
No, but some people will buy your stuff because they like you. But I want to get to a point where they just buy my stuff because it's good, you know. They won't know who Demarte Pena is. When they look at the glove, they're like, this is a cool glove.
Yeah.
Because there's so many random names for gloves, you know. Like if you look in Thailand, whatever wing and whatever all that kind of shit. So I think I want to get to the point where it's good quality stuff and yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Your gear was pretty much on show at Nationals this weekend. There were a couple of amateurs using it.
Yeah, a few guys actually bought the stuff and it's cool. I think in the long run it's gonna take off a little bit better and.
Nice.
So are your MMA gloves are obviously sanctioned gloves there, so the guys can use them in amateur fights?
Yeah, so once the gloves come, I got Nick and who was it, Ferdy as well to look at the gloves. They approved them and the shin pads as well. Okay. So I think that was the cool thing about it. Yeah, make sure that it was
Do we have it? Are there any other local manufacturers of gloves and MMA gear in South Africa?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Apocalypse and.
But I haven't seen anything from them in a long time.
Yeah. It's very hard markets to be honest to be able to sell. Yeah.
But also like one of the big things in my opinion, like my business brain, like that's a good looking glove. It makes sense to me. It's got what you need. It's obviously good gloves. When you go back, like when the guys have got like burning dragons and
put skulls and
you know what I'm saying. I'm like cool gloves, bro, but it's just not for me. You know what I'm saying. So like I feel that MMA also went past this whole like affliction type era to like better looking styles and more toned down, not that like complete zephness all the time. So
well, this is something like that's cool that it's easily accessible. Like you try I remember like 2 years ago trying to get like gel shin pads is impossible.
Yeah,
you go try find those, it's like almost you have to buy from.
But even the MMA sparring gloves, like
RDX, which is not ideal.
To go buy those smart things was terrible.
Yeah, and they were uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I think
they look very cool.
this ones are better gloves as well because my first ones were synthetic. This ones are all leather.
Okay.
And the boxing gloves are also leather as well. Last longer, and
Well,
it's
the
really good.
vegans are gonna get you, Demarte.
Well, talking about vegan, I'm not a vegan, but I am vegetarian though.
Okay.
Funny enough, so
Few things have changed since we last saw you, Demarte.
Yeah,
You've turned vegetarian.
Yeah,
You're making non-vegan friendly MMA gloves.
Don't
Actually,
say
that's
that
one.
though. Yes, but yeah, it's something that I don't really.
No, I'm
talk
joking.
about.
Vegans can definitely use the Demarte Pena's gloves.
Yeah,
In fact,
absolutely.
they're sanctioned by the vegans.
So what made you go vegetarian?
So I'm trying to like get my weight quite a lot down. I used to walk around at 73. Then the weight cut was always hectic for me.
Just
and-
to 61.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was my last fight. I was miserable, to be honest. I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this? And then when they came and said, you know what, okay, you're not doing this for a while, dude. So yeah, I think now my weight, I'm walking around 64, 65. So that's perfect for me. I'm not that hungry anymore like I used to. Used to eat quite a lot now, so I'm leaner now. So when I fight again, it's gonna be a lot easier to get to 61. Yeah.
So what does a traditional African diet that's vegetarian consist of?
Oh, shit. I try to eat a lot of pap and cabbage, spinach. I tried to go vegan for a while, but it was too hard, bro.
Sure.
Like vegan, and also you don't find a lot of good stuff to eat. And yeah, but I think the vegetarian is working well. You know, I don't really miss meat. I like sweets a lot, so. And
I feel you, man.
Yeah, I love sweets, so I think I can still have that, and my weight stays low. And
Maybe I should try that.
It does work for me. When I became a vegetarian, I was 73. Then I'm 64.
Jeez,
After
that's a
training,
big change,
sometimes
yeah.
I'm 63.
Jeez, like,
So
that's an easy weight cut.
yeah,
It's
so
a big change.
I think that's the
And-
biggest thing. Yeah.
And I suppose with a lot, especially with well, like any sort of performance athlete, guys want to ask about. Hey, shout out to
How do you feel?
Gasoline.
Yeah.
Obviously, what your performance is feeling like, your output, energy, those sort of things.
I feel great. You know, like I'm fit. I'm strong. I'm not as strong. I think I haven't done a lot of strength at work. Now I'm just focusing a lot of more cardio-based stuff. But I'm still strong. You know, I've been training with a lot of big guys in a while, and I've never really been handled. So still the same now. Yeah.
Nice. You're talking about big guys. You had a picture of Sloan there.
Yeah, with Slow, no, that guy's, yeah, I think he's handled almost all of us.
Looks a unit, eh?
Yeah, no,
Fuck.
jeez.
You know what's funny about Sloan is like every corner you go to in like any MMA fraternity, somehow Sloan comes up and everyone's got like the same thing. They're just like, that guy was just like,
You know, Sloan is a beast, bro. He is. I know him from 2012 when I was still in FM times. He's handled guys like easy, bro.
yeah,
You know.
he looks like a unit.
Bro is very, very strong.
Talking of units, what I wanted to talk to you about was, I mean, a guy I met this weekend who was absolutely awesome. That's Etienne Reineke,
Yeah.
and he tells me he knows you very well.
Yeah, he comes and trains at the gym as well. You know, he's known Gareth for quite a while. He's trained with Gareth for some time, and now he comes and spars with us. So yeah, he's a cool guy, and he spars hard as well. Like, he really goes for it, and
That Oaks life story is like a
Dude,
like
it's-
an absolute Hollywood blockbuster ready to be made. Really, like
Dude, it's unreal. Sorry, I'm beginning to slide, which is making life very uncomfortable. Yeah. So just in a nutshell, if nobody's seen that, Etienne was a rugby player for Stormers. He played there for a long time.
Lions. like,
Lions. He
He
played.
had some Super 14 games. Like
Yeah, he played overseas in a couple of places.
Saracens, yeah.
Was on the door to play for the Springboks, and then had a stroke.
Yeah.
He said he was in Bermuda and he took a kickboxing fight and had his spleen ruptured and left it, and then was like in ICU for something like the longest recorded time ever for a burst spleen because he took so long to get there.
Oh wow.
Had to learn to walk, had to learn to talk, had to learn
So was
to
the
read.
stroke as a result of the burst spleen?
No, it was a
Oh,
separate thing.
Separate incident.
Separate thing, yeah. And then, like he said to me, like he still struggles with hearing and
Yes,
he's-
you can't hear properly.
Yeah. He's because he was talking about the weekend, Dallas was like shouting instruction at him, and in the corner he's like, dude, you're not listening. And he started laughing. He's like, Dallas, I can't hear you. He's like, I don't know what you want from me, dude. You know. And then after all of that, was involved in it was like a spa or something in Rivonia. It was an armed robbery and ended up getting shot in the back of the head, like through the back of the head. Yeah.
I know that,
Yeah, dude. I mean, like you said, the guy, it was something. There was like one of the assailants had a knife or something, so he tried to disarm them, and then the dude came and was like, "You're gonna die," and like shot 3 times and missed, and one of the 3 went through the back of his head.
Wow, this guy's a hero, yeah.
And now this dude's just fucking destroying oaks in MMA, and it's like a
That fight with him and Dave Volker looked intense.
dude, it was ridiculous. So on the amateur scene, everyone says that a Dave Volker is the same kind of guy. Like, he comes out, throws heavy hands, and he wants to get it done quite quickly. So everyone was quite excited about the fight. But there was a disturbingly massive difference in power between the two.
Yeah.
Etienne Reineke is...
He's a strong dude, yeah.
he's ridiculously strong. The only thing, obviously, like you stood watching him and you're like... When I heard he was training with you, I'm like, okay, now that makes sense to me, because he just needs that little bit more refinement, you know, like he gets into really good positions and he's very strong.
Yeah.
So like a ground and pound situation, he's just offloading, you know, instead of like taking his
Yeah, no,
time,
it's very
picking his
reckless,
shots, just relax, you know, like in my head, I'm like, just relax, like pick your shots, you know what I mean? Like, and you could see he was getting tired, and eventually sort of like showing the ref, like, dude, like how many punches must I land? Because like a lot of them weren't landing, and then when he started asking, they were, you know what I mean? Like they were, and the ones that were landing they were horrible, you know, like in an amateur setting, you're just like, oh, please let this fight stop, let it be called, you know.
How was the attendance though that side?
Sorry?
How was the attendance?
Yeah, it was pretty good, to be honest. Like it's I mean, you guys competed there at the Submission Kings in CMH.
Yeah.
It's such a cool little venue. Like it's so
Very
different
cool.
in a car dealership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, but it was good. It was well supported. Obviously the hometown people got massive cheers, and it was really cool, man. And it's nice to see like well structured amateur events that obviously, what I was saying at the end of it, everyone that fought there fought like something was on the line. You know what I mean? So this title of a SA champion meant something.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys went after it, fought really hard. Some of the fights were great, man. I think everybody there on that card, you know, has the potential to go far in the sport if that's what they choose. Obviously, the disappointments were there was very little representation from the main boys. Like Beatrice Coetzee wasn't even there.
Oh yeah.
I would have liked to have seen maybe someone from the EFC. You know, like these guys are the future.
I'm
in
sorry,
essence.
but that just seems completely like
What?
absolutely
Beatrice not there?
ridiculous. That the president of the federation
Why
can't
must-
be there
why
for the
must he
nationals.
be there, bro? What must he be there for? Fuck. You know, like, and look, I'm saying, like I've said to you before, if you're passionate about it and you're the biggest promotion as well, why not send somebody there? You know what I mean? Show a little bit of interest, you know. Even if you're not looking for any fighters, it's going to galvanize those guys, you know what I mean? Imagine if Graham's there and they'd be like, okay, guys, listen, Graham's here, like, you know, now you got to perform. You know,
So
if you
now
want to
they're
get on the radar.
hosting something that is it April or May?
Yeah, that makes me extremely happy.
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be awesome.
It's April. It's gonna be in the PI. It's
Yeah,
the All
yeah.
African. So last year the All Africans, and I was like, guys, why are we holding an international event in some
Black Pants Sporting Club.
in a Black Pants Sporting Club? Bro.
Funny enough, the same sporting club that has a certain someone's gym in it.
Oh, fancy that.
Which gym is that?
Raymond Phillips' XKT gym is in that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I wonder if he charges venue hire.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Here we go. Yes, we got to get off. We got to
Going
get
down
out of
the
this
rabbit
lane. We got to get out of this lane quickly, boy. But yeah, like that's exciting. I think the PI is such an amazing facility to have.
Feels so underutilized.
Yeah, definitely, it definitely does. But it would be really cool. That's going
I
to be a
think so,
cool
yeah.
event, and it's just going to make those guys and girls competing feel so much more like. You
And
know,
also the cage is bigger, makes a
Yeah.
huge difference, you know.
mind your
Guys can-
foot there, bro. You're like my cat.
can
I'm
do
not on it, huh?
more, yeah.
No. Yeah, so exciting times, man. I mean, you're obviously one who's paying close attention. You're sort of in that amateur event region. So I guess it's pretty cool to see guys like yourself taking that initiative now to step up and So I guess that's a nice segue for you to tell us about Resilient Fighting Championships.
Wait, hold before you. This fight was announced today. Jamie.
Yes.
Yeah, today, yeah.
That's something I'm
Young J Money.
pretty
That's
keen
awesome.
to see.
Yeah, today.
I like these grappling man events. They're awesome.
So I think, yeah, obviously Adam Speechley's got a really good offer to go work overseas for the next few weeks. And he just called me this morning. He said, you know what, I won't be able to be here. I was quite gutted to hear such. So then I spoke to Chris, you know, like,
Yeah.
what can we do? We had a few options in place. Then Jamie's name came up. And I didn't know his resume, that he was that good. And he submitted quite a lot of good guys.
Yeah, dude.
And he hasn't been submitted in the last 2 years in no-gi. And he grappled the likes of obviously Martin and Biko. We finished. So I think he was the right guy, you know, a younger guy.
Yeah, and I mean, he was just in Angola competing, which was not easy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the winner gets $5,000. JP Kruger got $5,000 after he beat Armand. And now we're going to have this matchup as a co-main event. The winner obviously gets $5,000 as well. So for the title now, so what we want to do now, we want to create 2 divisions, under 80 and over 80. So the champion of this one is going to be the RFC under 80 champion. Then hopefully when Adam comes back, fights the winner. And we're looking for, in June, we want to have Andrew Van Zyl come in. He's already agreed to possibly face Danny van Heerden.
Oh, nice.
Then we
Just
got...
make sure you get your belt back from Don.
Dude.
That's something.
Doesn't
This
like-
guy,
That's something Rourke told me.
wow, it's not me yet. So yeah, moving on. So,
No, that's great though, because I mean Donnie just won in one championship as well,
Yeah.
which is cool. So he's back
Did
on.
he?
Yeah, he won, dude.
I did Warrior Series.
Yeah.
That's the series that's coming to South Africa, right?
Allegedly, yeah.
yeah, so that's cool. Then we got so we want to have JP Kruger face possibly Mark Hume
Yeah, that's
in
great.
Sure.
May.
Jeez.
Yeah,
The
that's
winner of that then fights
There's
the winner.
there's no stuffing around you.
Yeah, fights the winner of then Andrew Van Zyl, and because obviously it's over 80, so a
Yeah.
lot of the guys, the heavier guys, I don't know if they have an advantage.
So
but,
so will you, when you say over 80 and you talk about Andrew Van Zyl,
yeah, so you can.
so if you're 81 and you're fighting Andrew Van Zyl,
You make a plan. Bro.
you call Dalcha, my man. You're like, listen, I need some help here.
But you can see the absolutes. I think the guys that are about over 75, 80, they handle themselves well against the heavier guys. I think when you're like in the 73, 72,
Have you
it's
seen
quite hard.
Andrew Van Zyl post retirement?
Yeah, is he massive? I haven't seen him. Yeah.
I wouldn't say massive. I mean, I'm in no shape to be body shaming anybody. I'm just saying, and he's living a good life. He's having
Yeah.
a good time, you know. So he's
How would a guy like JP Kruger do against Andrew?
be
There must be
interesting.
like at
'Cause
least
I
a
think
30
I
kilogram
would
spread there.
I would guess that JP's probably in a little like he's probably got a little bit more cardio than Andrew. So if he
Yeah.
could drag it deep, maybe. That being said, I mean Andrew's got his own grappling school at the moment, so
Yeah.
I guess he's pretty
Yeah,
active.
because if he takes you down, dude, like, jeez.
Yeah, if he gets on top, I think
Yeah.
see years later.
Luckily, it's submission only, so then the points obviously don't count.
That makes a big difference. Like submission only does make a big
Yeah,
difference.
because
Yeah.
then he can't just hold position. So he needs to work for a finish, and he has to compromise a lot of position. So I think that's the way to go. Because playing points with a guy like him, geez, it's gonna be very difficult.
Leg lock.
Is a black belt.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
For a
He-
while
he
now,
got
yeah.
it.
Oh,
It
is
was
it
in
okay?
the beginning of last year or the year before.
I think the year before from Bobby.
Yeah, from Bobby.
So we got a few black belts now. Yeah.
Sure, Demarte, we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip on this because we're gonna be called names.
We
Again
touched
next
base on this with Jamie when he was on the show, and
Yeah.
it caused a bit of drama. So
Because Jamie is a brown belt, eh?
yeah,
Yeah, we're in the 60s for black belts.
But a fairly large
62.
percentage is from one association. Like I think it's how many did we count?
no, I think it's like 27 or something like that.
27 is from Real Grappling.
under, yeah,
Oh, under Rio Grappling.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
that's yeah.
Where's Dino Bertolis?
He's
in the
London.
UK.
Also
yeah.
living the good life.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the UK, yeah.
I thought he was still around.
No, he's in the UK.
He is a good grappler. Eh?
Yeah, he's good. He's really,
phenomenal.
really good.
And also that Chris Bright's guy, what's his name that stopped grappling? What's his name? Jody.
Jordy Machtel, yeah.
He was good, eh?
He was
Justice.
amazing.
He knocked out BB before they turned pro.
Knocked
Snoring.
him out.
Yeah.
BB
Dawson.
gun Tossed him in the cage.
He had heavy
Crazy.
hands and great grappling.
No, his grappling was at the stage we were in the FFM. You know, a lot of the guys when they went to train there, geez, there was no guy that left without getting submitted. he couldn't get submitted, bro. Like he was really good, bro. Like flip.
Yeah, I think he gave up
Amazing.
on the MMA dream to pursue a law career.
Yes, law career. Yes. I believe so.
Oh, sees where
Yeah,
chatty.
really good potential. I think it's just one of those things where
There were rumors around going around at one point that he was going to do the Ultimate Fighter. Apparently,
Who?
I think that was
Jody.
the plan
Jody.
at one stage.
I think he had a really
Yeah,
good potential
interesting.
to do a lot. Yeah, like Chris really says good things about him, and he really did well.
Yeah, the one thing about Chris Bright is if there's someone coming direct under his tutelage, you know to expect.
Yeah, they're good grapplers.
Great
Yeah.
grappler, yeah. I think Lutando's a good example. Sandile's a good example. There's a list of guys that are.
Funny enough, when Adam pulled out, I was thinking it would be awesome if we get Cameron to grapple him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Then I thought, you know what, dude, you're causing a lot of shit here. I'd rather.
Yeah,
I wanted-
you've been listening to this
Yeah,
show too much.
exactly. You're like, this is a big
should've
L
done
move.
did you go to what was it, ADCC last year?
Hey?
It was ADCC last year that the fight broke out.
Yeah.
Oh, between him and
It
Cedric.
It almost went down last year
Really?
between the Pesfa guys and
Oh, wow.
Chad and him.
So there was like it was like quite a competitive match, and then I think Cedric got Cam in a knee bar,
It was a knee-bar heel hook.
Oh, yeah,
for a
yeah.
while.
but
Yeah,
Cam tapped, and then
Then
Cedric
he
went
kept
again.
it, yeah, jeez.
And
then
his
like,
knee was damaged. They'd like just recovered from a knee injury.
but they had put all the mats together, so it was
Oh,
one
yes,
big
yes.
mat for the match, and then like Cam got up, and I thought, oh, that's fine. Next thing I see Cam like face pushing the soak, and then like JP and everyone's running on, and then the Pespa guys, I was like, oh.
Wasn't someone just like shouting no shoes on the mat?
Peyton was running around. Guys, no shoes on the mat. No shoes on the mat. 'Cause you know that
trust the jiu-jitsu person. No shoes on the mat. Forget whatever else is happening.
those
there.
mats were sold to Warren Addison, and he because they were in Joburg and had to still go to Bloemfontein, he was like, okay, you guys can use my mats for this event. So they were brand new mats. So they were so stressed about those mats, bro.
It's
I
going
was
down
like-
in front of us, and like one of our juniors is like got his phone up filming because he was filming the match,
And you just like,
and we like just drag.
just put that away.
Well, that was the problem, that there was kids everywhere. The
Yeah.
kids had just finished.
But I mean, it's combat sports. Dude. Things are going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Things are going to boil over.
Cameron's a good grappler. I think in the long run, hopefully, he can come in. And actually, Chad suggested that that he also maybe competing not for
Yeah.
obviously to compete against Chris, but he said, you know, one of the guys that's
Yeah.
out there, and I've grappled with him quite a few years, so
Yeah,
it'll be cool
that'd be
to have
cool.
him in
Yeah,
the
and
future.
I,
in
from
there.
what I understand, Cam wants to mainly focus on grappling now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not in MMA anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also with a nice little $5,000, it's not gonna hurt.
In the long run, we really want to make sure that we pay the guys really well. So it's a good start. Hopefully, we can bring it up to like really like worth it. You know,
Yeah, sure.
like in the 20s, 30s, hopefully 50 grand. You know.
That's
So
cool.
that's the goal. Yeah, I think grappling is definitely the most important part of MMA, in my opinion. So if you don't know how to grapple, you shouldn't be fighting. So
Well, I mean, that was most of your success came
yeah,
from grappling.
most of it. Yeah.
Considering you came from a kickboxing background into
Then the
UFC, and then you just landed up grappling
yeah.
everyone.
I wrestled a lot from like when I was still in Pretoria. I met two wrestlers who were really good. His name Derek van der Linde and his brother. So we wrestled a lot then. So I think that's where I picked up my wrestling.
Okay,
Yeah, most of my wrestling.
nice.
It was mostly wrestling, and then those two barn burners at the end.
Oh, yeah,
last
then-
two were, I think that first Ishard fight, I think it was EFC.
The first
66.
Ishard
the
fight,
stand-up
round
one.
1, was like some of the most technical stand-up between
What was
two guys.
what was the second one? EFC 66.
Yes,
66 and 77 was 10.
Yeah.
10 events apart.
No.
No.
The
Yeah.
second one was 66, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
my last fight was 66. Yeah.
This is the one we finished in, what was it?
Fourth round. Yeah.
Fourth round.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it was the first one. That first one was epic.
This guy's a good fighter. Eh? He's a good fighter, and yeah.
I remember speaking to Urshad, and he was like, I think before the second fight, he was, and it was quite funny, and you actually mentioned it as well, and it was the first time I'd actually heard of it from South African fighters talking about the weight of the limelight
Yeah.
for this two, because it was such an intense rivalry, and it was constant media and constant on the camera and constant being
Yeah,
portrayed
with the
in
show, yeah.
yeah, you're both being portrayed in ways that maybe wasn't exactly true, but that's what those shows do. That's what.
But
that's
you know,
why we watch them.
the funny thing is like that thing with the Biogen. It's like he always had that weapon, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever I said, you could always go back there. Then I'm like, oh fuck, you know, like like it never went to skill, you know.
How many needle emojis do you think you had?
bro? Fuck, like, every time, bro. Like,
Do you ever go into TJ's Instagram?
bro, every time they
It's
like,
just like it's like pages of oaks,
Yeah.
like snakes and needle
Yeah,
emojis.
and
bro.
needle emojis, bro.
that's why
And he took it. He's got that whole
Yeah.
he's got his like whole brand.
he
is that
embraced
snake
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Clean juice.
John Jones, he like just blocks comments, like he doesn't allow you to comment on his Instagram.
Yeah, but
But
listen.
yeah, you know, I think also in with this, it's unfortunate what happened. Obviously, whatever you say, people always have their own opinion, and the story is always nice if you did it
Sure.
willingly, you know. I can say no, this happened or whatever happened, but people always gonna have their own opinion. So, but that's also what is nice, you know. If you talk, okay, he's dopes and this, it's fun, you know,
Sure.
for the people. But for you, it's not fun at all, you know. Whatever you put out there, people will never believe you anyway. So, but to be honest, the second time, I swear, I only lost that case because of money, bro. So what had happened was, the first case, obviously, we got lawyers in place and everything. And then we managed to prove that it came from the supplements. So then there was another guy who was sponsored by Biogen. I won't just mention his name because obviously maybe you won't appreciate that. Also had the same issue, was using the same products as well. So now, then I was scheduled to fight Syed the second time around. So then those guys that were sponsoring me, they offered me money initially. Say, you know what, this happened, promise that you won't talk about it to anybody or whatever. They offered me 100,000 rand. I said, you know what, I'm not gonna accept the money. It is what it is. It happened, but then we'll see how it goes in the future. And the guy wanted to sue those guys for causing such a havoc in his career.
So,
as a,
yeah,
as
so
a cyclist.
I remember that initially there was talk of Biogen being sued.
Yes, so he wanted to sue Biogen. So now the owner of Biogen is apparently a guy that his philosophy in life is that whatever happens in life, if he'll find a way to win. So after the case with SAIDS, then we got the notification from WADA that they want to appeal the case. So then we were like, oh fuck. For me, I just thought to myself, you know what, I just gotta fight this guy before we have the hearing, because I need to prove, you know, that I can beat this guy. And obviously they tested me again, and I was clean. And that's the thing that I was really pissed off with you, my man. Like I swear to God, I wanted to fuck you up so bad, bro.
I would have never have guessed.
And I called you, bro. I was like, you fucking. Anyways, we're over that now. But
Let me just talk about what you're saying. So when I initially saw the report, just pull up the site so I can. It comes up as two cases, but it's the same case.
Yes.
So when I put it out, there's two cases saying Demarte was busted again, which was incorrect.
I actually remember that whole
Yes.
debacle.
Yeah, you should.
No, it was
Didn't
incorrect.
You did a retraction though, didn't you?
yeah, he did.
Oh,
But
okay.
you know, if something happens, bro,
But it's art.
the
I hear
people will screenshot something so fast, bro.
Yeah,
They'll never
You should have
it. Ask John Jones, bro.
I said I was traveling to Angola. Then Gareth calls me. He's like, dude, how can you get caught? How can you get caught the second time? I'm like, get caught the second time? What are you talking about? Then I look at BigAl's thing, and people screenshot that thing like this, bro. Bad news is like travels like fire, bro. I'm like, again. I was like, this is impossible. Then I call him like you fucking dude, I wanna like I swear. I was so pissed off with you. But
Look, Rook and myself can look the other way.
to put it
just press pause there. Just press
to
pause.
close this.
Oh, don't you have like mats set up downstairs?
Hey, bro. Yeah. We can go, bro.
I think to settle this, you know
Take
what?
it like a man.
I got tested again my second fight. Obviously I was clean. I wasn't using that product again. But yeah, so when this guy approached Biogen, he said, you know what, he wanted money. Obviously, he wanted to see what kind of remuneration he can get for the case, because we were both cleared. So the guy said, you know, don't worry too much about this. There's still more coming. So that's what he told him. Then I think a few days later, we got the thing from WADA telling us that they're gonna appeal. We were like, oh fuck, they're gonna appeal? Shit. Then we were like, okay, now scrambling. So every doctor approach here all connected to Discam. Discam is obviously the biggest pharmacy here in South Africa. No one wanted to help. Okay, so then we thought, okay, let me try and go overseas. So we spoke to a few doctors overseas to speak to them, 2,000 euros. Just so that, bro,
Online consultation.
just so that they can hear your story, 2,000 euros. Then now they charge you also per word that they read out of your case. So I think per word at whatever euros and whatever time they spend. Then I was thinking to myself, man, I already spent quite a bit of money from the first case. How am I ever gonna deal with this? So now then bro, their budget and the yearly budget is massive. They can ban a country like Russia. What am I gonna do? So I tried my best. I actually didn't want to go to the hearing the second time. I didn't have an attorney or a lawyer anymore. I thought, okay, fuck, let me not go because I'm screwed. Because literally we needed, everything else was cool. We just needed an expert. Then they had another lady, an Italian lady that was supposed to be an expert for water. But I didn't have an expert because everyone I spoke to here obviously couldn't help me because they're somehow connected to Discam. And overseas I couldn't get an expert in any case. And the attorney that advised me for the first case, since I said, look, if you don't have an expert, there's no way you're going to argue against an expert who's a PhD in whatever, bio, whatever. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to rock up there myself and have this hearing and talk. And fucking I went there, bro, and just talked. And I explained my story. But once the expert came, bro, what is your word? You know, I got a BigAl, bro. So then I'm trying to explain. Then I'm like, there was a show a while ago that we did with Derek Watts in Carte Blanche where he talked about the warrior gene. Then I said, you know what, fuck, guys, I'm fucking African. So I've used these supplements for quite a while leading up to this fight. How do you know how my body's going to react? You can take a cough syrup, react differently to you and me. So why don't we do test? Let me use these supplements, test me now, then test me after. Then the guy from Wadi said that if you do that, you're going to get another violation for... So I was going to be again... so they said, okay, if you do that, you're going to get another fine for that. So we couldn't do that. And there was just no way I could have won. Then we found the guys from Biogen that were there that day of the hearing. They were speaking to Wada a lot. The case cost almost R500,000, bro.
That's
for them
crazy.
bro, they came for us properly, bro. And sources have it that they funded the actual appeal, which was Biogen. Obviously, I'm saying this as a disclaimer. You know, Biogen, they fucking sneaky, those guys. I'm saying based on what I understand. You know, I stand to be corrected, but from what I understand in that time, and yeah, that they funded the appeal. They came for us, and obviously they knew that we couldn't get any money from them if we were guilty. And yeah, man, and the guy was brilliant, bro. They brought the best sports lawyer, whatever, from WADA, bro. Here, bro, that guy was he's fluent in English, fluent in German, fluent in like every fucking language out there, bro.
Yeah, they've also just banned the entire Russian team from competing in the Olympics, so they're not.
And now, funny enough, my attorney that was part of SAID sent me another article a few days ago that the same lab that tested my sample, they made a mistake in another cricketer. No. They sent to Qatar, I think. Okay. So they made a mistake from another cricketer who was banned for a few months. Now WADA has to refund them $500,000 because they made a mistake. So now we also gonna follow up because their thing that they send with me, how the levels and that kind of shit, that could be wrong as well. So you know, there's a lot of shit.
Wasn't there like they were trying to like? I remember reading that document, and weren't they saying that the
2 hours before they said that I had to take an injection 2 hours before my match. So it's okay. I'm not the smartest guy out there, but I'm not a stupid guy. I've been tested since Leo Gloss fight. All my fights have been tested, and I get tested also out of competition. One of the few guys. There is no ways in this world that I would take something 2 hours before that I know definitely I'm getting tested for. Like, where's the fucking logic, bro? Like, I'm not a stupid guy. If I wanted to do that, I was gonna go to fucking Angola in some other town and do that shit and come. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I think it was just a case of, you know, I was using the products. I trusted the products, and it got fucked. Obviously, now they came up with. So this is when we got the email. They said the supplements. They didn't know why they were appealing, right? So they said the supplements. When did you test them? Were the bottles open and closed? Maybe they came up with like they shot so many things to try and get me. Then eventually it got to that, okay, maybe the levels are too high. The normal person shouldn't be like that. So it's not like they just came in and say, you know what, these levels are too high. It's 2 hours before. They shot so many things like, oh no, this is like this. You are lying. You are the one who contaminated the product. So how can we trust this? So it's not like they just came in and say, you know what, we are appealing you because we know exactly why you are wrong. They just appealed and shot like so many things. Then they say, okay, no, we can get him this way. So I think I was bound to lose, bro, and they didn't want to create a precedent as well when that case happened, because a lot of the times when there's new cases, they create a precedent, say, no, this happened to this guy, obviously now you cannot prove that 1, 2, 3, then it goes straight away like that. And I think also the biggest thing that we have here in Africa is that SAIDs, in terms of MMA, we just follow the general rule where 4 year and boom, done.
We got some of the worst sanctioning in the world.
Bro,
right?
look at a guy, let's say, Alistair Overeem, bro.
Well, TJ.
Yeah,
TJ
okay.
is the biggest case.
TJ,
ever.
okay, no, let's go to Alistair Overeem, bro. So his levels were like 14 or something, where the levels are almost 14 dudes or whatever. I don't know how to explain.
But he was
got,
sparking dudes.
bro, 6 or whatever months, not even a year. He got, bro. If I stand to be correct. Imagine, bro, first offense, right? Because I did use the products, and I'm not saying that I didn't use the products. 4 years, bro. Look at a guy, let's say like Cole Henning. 4 years.
Yeah,
That
for
was
a pre-workout,
intense.
dude.
Well,
That
that-
was
bro,
DHEA or whatever.
He just didn't have
How
money
cra-
to fight it. So the problem is that you pop for this. You don't have any. If you have no ability to fight it, you've got 4 years. That's it.
And also,
Yeah.
like, bear in
that's
mind
what it
as
is.
well, there's not a lot of guys who will go there, let's say, and defend you. Let's say another case that I followed as well was Michiel Opperman. So Dricker's brother, I think it was the one who went there to help him. He thought it's like normal law where you are innocent and then until you're proven guilty.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Other way around, you're guilty. That's it. So it's in your system, you're guilty. Now you have to prove yourself innocent. And you went there in a way like say, no, he ate this meat and whatever. They don't really care, you know. So I think also MMA in SA, they need to come up with their own banning rules. Like the UFC, they have their own rules.
Yeah.
Then they align with
Yeah, but
USADA.
that's quite recent. So originally Jeff Nowitzki was heading that up. Now he works for the UFC.
yeah.
So now they're making their own kind of rules because of all of this pulsing and supplements.
Yes,
And
yeah.
there's been a long string of guys now all falling short the supplements. It's
Yeah.
been quite a trend actually. A lot of guys. There's so many guys that have had supplement problems.
But it is crazy
along
that
the
they can set their parameters.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Do you know, like NFL, if you get caught anything like blatantly cheating, to win a bowl, whatever, right? Your first offense, 1 game on the bench.
Yeah.
One game. That's 1
game,
week.
yeah.
But so by the time you get back on the field, it's still in your system. Yeah, it hasn't even left your system yet. Maximum ban 6 games. Right? They only have 24 games in a season or whatever, so you're losing a quarter of the season or whatever it is. But I mean, like, it should be consistent amongst all sports. If you get caught, like, this is the punishment. It shouldn't be left to like the NFL trying to like scrape it under the carpet. Yeah, you get 1 game.
And I think
suspension.
the 4 year also date came because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
So they ban you for 4 years so that you can't compete in the
So you
Olympics.
can be back. It's actually, I think, designed
we're not
so
even
you
in the
can,
Olympics.
you can normally be back for the next Olympics. as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's how that kind of came about. So if you get
Yeah.
banned the Olympics, you sit out until the next Olympics,
Yeah.
then you're kind of back. So just to explain that quickly, Demarte, what happens in that litigation sort of process, the arbitration process at WADA and SAIDS, they give you 4 years automatically.
Yeah.
Once you pop 4 years.
Yeah, so basically it's a bit different. If it's known substance, meaning they'll say, okay, it's whatever, turbinol, whatever, I think it's less.
Okay.
Then when it's, let's say testosterone, which my levels were high, they don't really know what you used in a way. So it's an unknown substance, then it's 4 years. It's a way that they think maybe you're trying to hide it, so now we're going to get you more in a way. I think that's how I see it. So
What's that? They just don't really know what's going on.
yeah, don't
so
really know what you used, but obviously it was the levels that were high. So then they'll be like, okay, now we're gonna get you for 4 years. But it's
But then you have to. So how it works is then you have to try and mitigate, show evidence of what was going on, and they slowly start to detract
yeah.
all of that.
Like with the
given-
SAIDS case, you know, you show, okay, what your diet, what were you taking, and I brought the list of everything I bought in this scheme, everything, bro, perfect, bro.
So this is where I was going with that, because I remember at the time either yourself or Rory Diesel put out the due diligence that you had done, and you had lists of training diaries and what you'd eat and what you're taking, which supplements you're taking on which day, and so on. So how did it, I mean, how did you still end up with 4 years when you still had this trail of stuff?
So with Sades, bro, after the case, I was like, this is the best case they've ever had, honestly. And when WADA came, so it's Demarte Pena and Sades versus WADA.
Okay.
Because Sades gave me you were good, no negligence, no intention. Then when WADA came, they said, okay, we're gonna do this and we're gonna try and come for this guy. Sades went like, okay, we stick to our decision, but if you want to do this, you do this. We'll only be observers. Then I'm like, okay, cool. So I speak to Sades. So the doctor that was there. So in the Sades, there's three people. So there's the chair, there's a doctor, and someone else. Then I reach out to Sage, this is what's happening, help me, because I can't find people that can help me, especially in terms of the medical side. They're like, but we don't want to get involved. So I reached out to a lot of
craziness. I mean, like,
bro, you are alone, bro. Then I reached out to a lot of doctors that were quite involved in terms, they're really clued up in terms of sorry
guys.
Yeah, cool. There are a lot of doctors who are really clued up in terms of how your body functions and whatever. Then as soon as they heard, okay, Biogen, because obviously they're paying quite a lot of doctors and they in their payroll. I couldn't reach out to anybody, bro. I tried to go overseas. Then that's when there was like 2,000 euros. Yeah, this and this. I was like, oh fuck, man. EFC don't pay you a lot, bro. My last fight I got not even $10,000, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So EFC don't pay a lot. It's not like let's say look at Sharapova. She got that thing where she was using the name changed or whatever.
Yeah. And the Austrian, wasn't she also called with Austrian?
Yeah, but they said it was coming from an asthma pump or something.
She said
like
because the name changed, she didn't know that it was still banned or some other story. She got, 15 months. She's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
She's
on Shark Tank. She funds
what I'm
businesses.
Saying? Yeah.
Like here, maybe the guys who have money as fighters maybe Drake Temba got a good money now from Zimbabwe. Maybe Drake has got money. Maybe Gareth. But you don't count guys who are like, this guy's a multi-million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of us in fighting specifically. Don got good money got the million from that knockouts and stuff. But R1,000,000 is not a lot of money, So, we're not balling, bro. So in terms of having to defend yourself, you're really screwed. And I felt that, bro. And I thought to myself, you know what? I haven't made a lot of money from fighting. Am I gonna get 2,000 euros? Speak to this guy. They count every word, and then they thought to myself, no, fuck it, bro. I didn't have any defense when I went there the second time. I just thought I'll just go there and talk. Maybe they'll feel sorry for me. No, they didn't, and
But the thing, you tested fully clean for the second fight with the shot there.
Yeah, well.
And that's the one.
Please say that again, so that this guy can.
Hey, on top of having to deal with this case, you got shitty media starting stories about you.
So even if that was the first fight that result overturned.
Both of them.
Yeah, because he wasn't actually eligible to fight in the second one.
I wasn't supposed to be fighting.
Okay, well, even if you didn't count the first one, you still beat him in the second one.
That's I think they wanted the case to happen straight away.
Yeah.
So we did our best. That I just told my the ones who were advising me. I said, I gotta fight this guy, because if I never fight him, that will always be the fight that will be talked about.
Yeah.
And obviously after the fight, both of us got tested, and the results were obviously clean. Yeah, man. So I was happy about that, and then I knew that I'm fucked, bro. Now I'm gonna have this case with WADA, and they were really coming strong, bro. And I felt overwhelmed, man. Like, honestly, I was just there. I thought to myself, fuck it.
Sure.
It is what it is. And when the result came, I was like, you know what, fuck, okay, would deal with it,
Yeah.
But I think it was harder for me in the beginning when I was actually at the gym training. Then when it happened the first time, Graham called me and he told me what had happened. I thought it was a fucking joke, bro. Then now things just started to I lost, in a matter of 5 days, I lost almost 10 kilos, bro, of stress, bro. Yeah, bro. And sometimes, let's say with your teammates, bro, I work hard, bro. It's not about Biogen or shit like that. I work hard. And then sometimes, you know, your own teammates, they're like, oh, that's why you work hard. You know, that kind of shit. You think to yourself, man, fuck, I'm a fucking, bro, I work hard, bro. Whatever I lack in skill, I make it up for work, man. And it's also, it was very like a personal defeat I have, because all my work, then people want to associate with that. But man, I'm a fucking, bro, I work hard, bro. Like, Baiji, no shit like that, man. I'm gonna work, and once I get on the mat, man, I want to be alpha, you know. That's always been my mentality. It's unfortunate, you know, sometimes when I think about my career, you know, this thing tarnished my career to a certain level, but it is what it is, man. There's people that face a lot of hardships in life, and
sure,
man.
Demarte.
Yeah.
There's one more question I want to ask you on this scenario, and we can move on. Just on the Biogen thing, because it obviously, besides my crappy reporting on the scenario, I was trying to pay as much attention
it's fucked up,
as much attention as possible, and straight after the first section, the SAID section,
the first one,
Biogen went and put stickers on that supplement. What was it that we were using? It was
Testo Forte.
Testo Forte. They went and put stickers in all the discams on that product, and it was kind of like a warning or something like that.
So this isn't
well,
like
it's not on the shelf anymore. Eh?
Yeah, it's off the shelf. But straight after
Biogen doesn't produce testosterone booster anymore.
Yeah.
Every other brand does.
So they went and put a sticker, because I knew, because someone sent this to me. They're like, look at this, like there's something happening here. We don't know what's going on, but that's kind of saying there's something going on here, because this game had put a stick on like not safe for athletes or something like that.
They did.
There was some weird thing going on.
So those supplements were tainted, right? So there was whatever substance there, I forgot the name. That's a fact, and I use that product. So now the thing where they said, no, those levels were too high. That's why they caught me like that. Then that's why I said my logic was, okay, so the levels are high, cool. Let me follow the same process. We've already known what it was. Let me be contained in a certain environment where I'm like fully monitored. Let me use these products, test my levels now and test my levels after. Then the dude's like, if that happens, if you use a product, we're gonna get 8 years. Then you're screwed. Then it's like a lifetime ban. So then I thought to myself, like, then how do I prove myself that I didn't willingly use this product, you know? So, but they don't care, bro.
So do you think if you were a American-based athlete in a slightly bigger organization, you would have served 4 years?
You know, I think it's not about just the American side. I think if I had more funds, bro. I think I honestly got 4 years because I couldn't get a proper expert. Another guy that was actually quite interested in this case had messaged me and said, you know what, if you get let's say Nobel Prize winner scientist, right? Sure. You message them, you know what, they'll charge you quite an arm and a leg, but then they'll say it's impossible to point out one single human being saying that if you use this kind of stuff, you cannot have these levels. It's impossible. So then they're worried against their expert who's got a PhD, someone who's got a Nobel Prize, you know? So basically it's about the money, and that's it, bro. And WADA is a business.
Yeah.
So it's like the police. If there's no crime, we don't need police. But so they have to just regulate things, you know? So at the end of the day, I knew that my case, like my lawyer was telling me, they didn't want a precedence, because then a lot of guys that were caught for that specific thing, they were going to get off. So I think that's why we got fucked. So hopefully now we want to also follow up with this thing with the new Qatar thing, where they made a lot of mistakes in one of their things. And bro, like, you know, when I look at this thing, my man, I was thinking to myself, but people love the drama and stuff, but bro, if I wanted to cheat, I was this sounds like that guy, what's his name, that killed his wife, what's his name, that black guy, OJ. If I were done it, this is how I was gonna do it. But I wouldn't fucking do that, bro.
Yeah.
2 hours before my fight. Am I fucking crazy,
there's
bro?
No real benefit, really.
Not about a real benefit. I know I'm gonna get. It's not like a surprise, bro. So
especially with such a hope,
I've seen them backstage.
especially such a hope, like high-profile fight.
They don't like let you out of their sights. They'll sit right next to you.
They'll follow you.
And most folks are like dehydrated after a fight.
How weird is the dude going with you into the toilet, bro?
Yeah, no, they follow you and they look at you when you pee.
Yeah, they inspect, bro.
I think it was after a title fight. One of the dudes was like busy drinking beer and trying to celebrate, and the guy was like pulling him away from his team, like, come, we need to go.
And if you refuse, then you're guilty, bro. Yeah. So, but I think,
or you can always hit the Jose Aldo and just run out the gym, or
Yeah,
The
but
John
if they
Jones.
see
John
you,
Jones.
if they see you and they speak to you, then you run away. Then you're guilty.
Yeah.
So,
Who was
but
didn't Vanderlei do something like that as well? He just
He
saw
ran
them
out
and
the
just
back door.
bolted, bro.
They ran out the back door. The one.
Yeah, but listen, you didn't need to test Vanderlei. I mean,
yeah, he refused to get tested, but then he got into trouble. Then he said, "You know what? You just fight elsewhere where they don't test." But I
Okay.
think what we need a competent lawyers, obviously, to help the guys out, and also more doctors to help us. I think it's shit, bro. 4 years is a fucking long time,
no,
bro.
definitely, especially at
And,
that point in your career.
And I feel like my stand-up was coming right. Things were like, then boom, bro, fuck.
So
It's shit.
the craziest thing is when this first came out and we thought about 4 years. It's like 4 years is an eternity.
Yeah.
But we're here now. We're almost at the end. So
Yeah.
so what's next for Demarte Pena?
So I think I'm taking like in stages now. So now I'm trying to sort out my diet. I changed. Now I'm vegetarian. I'm walking around lighter. Funny enough, I saw Mark Hume in another EFC. Saw me. He's like, "Yeah, you're so much smaller." He's like, "Yeah, you're off the sauce." I'm like,
There's just no winning, eh?
motherfucker. Bro. And he's like, "Oh, too soon." I'm like, "Fuck, too soon, of course, motherfucker." And we had a laugh because I know him from so long, But yeah.
Classic.
It's not because of Bajin. I'm smaller because of my diet. So I think, my diet is right. I'm focusing a lot now on my stand-up. Then after, I'm going to focus a lot on doing more jits and wrestling. Okay. Then strength and conditioning. And hopefully fight. I don't think I'll fight in EFC, though. But, yeah.
This was the question. What's the relationship like between you and the UFC at the moment? Because obviously we saw you I don't know if you're still doing a bit of stuff like broadcast type stuff with them. And
now we're supposed to do something that I didn't want to do because there were a little bit of cunts in terms of that Drickus and Gareth thing. They were just saying, no, we don't want to do that. Like UFC, they want you to commit fully to them. Then when there's something that for them to give, then they don't want to do shit. So I thought to myself, you know what, fuck it. Yeah, it is what it is. They're still the biggest here, so... But I don't have to now sacrifice myself as well for them. And in all honesty, as fighters, we think that EFC love us. They don't really do. It's still a business. And they're smart businessmen, Yeah. Like Caro, the thing with him is a nice guy. He's always smiling and, he thinks, oh, this guy's so cool with you. But when it comes to a decision, it's EFC first, not you as a fighter. So, and a lot of guys understand it. So you just got to understand that whatever decision they're going to make is not for your benefit.
Sure.
But for EFC.
Sure.
So have you been in talks with any other promotions?
I've been, funny enough, what's the name? The guy that lost to Adesanya, Derek Bronson. He messaged me on Instagram. He said he wanted to possibly see if he can manage me and stuff. And I just said, you know what, I can't fight now. He messaged me. A few guys messaged me from Eras.
I mean, I was about to say like that you seem like the best
perfect fit for
perfect fit for Aries. I mean, they're coming to SA.
Yeah, it's coming to SA soon. So
Will you be out of suspension by then?
Hopefully, like now, I just start getting the conversation, talking with Sades and see how it leads up to it and if I get tested and how long it is and whatever. But I don't want to just rush into fighting because I want to do it right. After so long, then you get away, then you come and you get fucked up and whatever. So, luckily I don't need to fight because I've been able to, create different revenues, to be able to sustain myself and obviously my family. But yeah, bro. So it's one of those things where, because if the guys were actually getting paid nice money here, but the prices have decreased here. You have to sell tickets and whatever. So it's not like all rainbows and sunshine.
Would a trilogy fight with Irshad Syed get you back in the EFC for a one and done? Because immediately the second you mentioned Demarte Pena, Irshad Syed is the very name that pops
I think
up.
if I didn't fight him the second time,
yeah.
But now, if I fight him, I honestly feel I'll beat him again. You know what I'm saying?
Would that be a fight that would get you up out of bed in the morning?
Not really, bro. Faiz is a good fighter. He's a good fighter, bro. He's a really good fighter. I rate him, so maybe that. But then they'll pay me what, 100 grand if I'm lucky. You know what I'm saying? And your camp is
It's about 10 times more than everyone else in that quad.
But I think the highest paid guys are what? Drickus?
Must be.
Yeah,
Must be, yeah. Drickus, maybe Gareth.
I heard that they had to like match a certain percentage of his KSW purse, and his KSW purse was like
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a good fighter, really. Yeah. So
Well, I mean, that one outlet, I don't know if you posted it, but they offered him like
I'm getting
100.
nervous again. Like, what did I
125
post this down?
They offered him like 125 or 150, and he declined it. So Drickers.
Yeah.
No, Drickers, I think, is really doing well for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the guys that actually made money from fighting. Yeah, all of us, we like scraping, bro.
So if you had to be pressured for an answer, like when do you think you'd be back in there?
Hopefully, I can fight maybe mid next year.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that, and yeah, I think that by then I'll be ready to fight. Yeah.
Do you still have aspirations of getting a career back on track and maybe still having a crack in the UFC?
Yeah, I think that's really my ultimate goal. But yeah, those guys are beasts, bro.
Yeah, it's not even. It's actually not even about the beast, because I think we definitely got the caliber hanging around you at the moment, and I think guys like yourself can still do it. Guys like Temba are obviously on route to try and do it.
Yeah, so hopefully he can get in there. Yeah.
The biggest problem here is the geography. It's just trying to get there. I think that's the hardest part. Is, it's finding the avenue, which is
But I
hard.
think hopefully they come here. I think once that happens, if you look at the Brazil card now, it's like Brazilian, and a few Americans. So I think once they can get a market here, but if you look at a market here, a ticket in for UFC, it's expensive at USA, right?
It's not.
How many South Africans are gonna pay 2,000 rand for like a normal standard ticket? We don't have that kind of money here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
we'd be the smallest fight night in history.
I think we'd get a fight night, and then I know like some of those Brazilian fight nights is like 500 rand tickets and whatever.
oh, 500 rand.
Yeah.
Look,
So remember, it's like a super small
Oh,
card.
yes, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the main event isn't really a main event,
So hopefully when they come back, then I'm already like able to compete and stuff. But yeah, like I need to just stress you, like honestly, man, I work hard, bro. So that's the thing that really eats me the most, is that, bro, I work hard, bro, and like, fuck, and my name, like all the ones who've obviously followed me, the ones who always say nobody is a cheater. Is fuck that, man.
Yeah.
I work hard and I've been champ. You can go and take steroids, but you won't become champion, bro.
Sure.
It doesn't define you. So, but it is what it is. I've accepted it. I've had my fair share of a lot of ridicule, obviously, on the internet and the shit. But it comes with it, and sometimes I just think to myself, man, fuck, bro. It's such a painful thing, man.
No, I can't imagine. And obviously, like idiots like us who can't stop making jokes. But I mean,
I remember I was like, when I read that, so I think it was Rook. I was like, yeah,
Rourke's always got Rourke's the biggest
I'm
problem.
like, this guy, man, fuck, bro. Thought we are cool, bro.
But Demarte, at the end of the day, like,
I understand.
We still want to see you do well. You know what I'm saying? We still want the best for you. That's the honest truth. We want African fighters to do well, and we want to see you guys prosper. I mean, obviously we like to make jokes.
I understand,
but we're just idiots with mics. So
but the worst thing is like also the sponsors, bro. Yo, fuck, bro.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Did all your sponsors leave?
Yeah, for sure, bro. And once they were appealed the case, then Restonic was one of my biggest sponsors, and I hadn't told them yet. I was waiting until the case had finished.
Hang on, sorry, Demarte. Restonic dropped you.
But
then sponsored Max Merton.
Oh, Max,
Fuck around, Restonic. What are we talking about here?
Max, yeah.
Look, Restonic have done some fairly sketchy things, like that Rudy Roots advert with
that was
with him
poor.
sleeping on the Restonic side.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was in poor taste.
Yeah, no, that was, yeah. But they trying, But they dropped me, and a lot of other sponsors, they were paying me per month, which helps quite a lot. So, but in a way, I think, I try to just take the good out of the situation, and it made me think differently about fighting, and obviously get other revenue streams of income. So yeah, it's shit, bro. But I was so depressed in the beginning, bro. Not depressed as such, but I was really down, man. Fuck, really down, because like I was saying, like the people that are surround you, then they're like, oh no, they say shit, and you think to yourself, man, fuck, bro, I can fight, bro. Like I don't mean in any arrogant way, bro. But whatever I lack, leading up to my career, whatever I lacked in skill, man, I made it up for hard work, man. I work hard, bro, like legit. So.
Well, even just some of the fights, so looking through some of these were absolutely ridiculous.
Dude.
I think it was the Ventil fight got dropped.
bro,
Like
like,
what, in,
maybe
like, the
first
4
minute?
or 5 times. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Do you remember that? It was just an absolute.
But Wenzel blew his whole load in the first round.
Yeah.
Please don't say blues.
Yeah, it's like he just saw this dark chocolate in front of me. And it's like, I'm done, yeah. Okay, what's the cigarette? Yeah, yeah, but like in my career, I've lacked a lot of aspects of my skill set. I lacked in terms of skill, which I worked really hard for.
This was the craziest thing because I think here, Cedric Doyle and the two Urshad Syed fights, we really got to see the evolution of the mart
a little bit more stand up
and the stand up and the head kicks,
That
dude.
first Urshad fight was like
The head
top,
kicks, dude.
top level.
I remember
bantamweight fight. Jeez.
sitting in Cape Town. It was the funniest thing because I mean this is how fighting is, and Cape Town people are obviously always gonna be, even if they're being objective, slightly more.
So, yeah,
and I remember in saying like, "Oh, Urshad's 2 rounds up." I'm like,
yeah.
where?
Look, Cape Town's had some sketchy. Like, remember when
Dude,
Don...
but these are like legit MMA people, but they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Urshad's definitely 2 up here." I'm like, where, bro? Where did you see that? I'll see it's razor thin, but I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
But
Look,
it was one of those kind of fights, you know what I mean? Where it was just
Stand up, well, yeah. But now I feel, bro, my stand up is getting better and better, bro. Like when I fight, I really want to be a different fighter.
sure.
I don't want like guys to feel like, you know what, this guy's just like I remember when I started fighting, lay and pray, blah 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 blah. Then I had a good, relatively good stand up fight against what's his name, Francois. Then I was like, are you not entertained? That kind of vibe. But I really work a lot on my stand up, man. The thing up there at FM, we did a lot of grappling, which has always been my strong forte. So I try to now do more stand up, and I try to get different aspects. In boxing, I had box, and I try to like just mix it up more. But if you ask the guys that I train with, man, I can fight, bro. Like I swear, like I just.
The crazy thing is people don't understand how difficult it is to like out wrestle someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not
for
like
sure.
an easy task. Like people are like, oh, he's just laying there and
Yes.
doing
Yeah.
like
Exactly,
He's just
like,
taking
like
it-
fuck, dude.
It's
He's
hard.
just
yeah.
taking a
That's hard,
break.
bro.
Yeah,
Like
it is
everyone
hard,
used to like shit on Ben Askren all the time, but like
It's not
he was
easy to
no one
fight
could
like
stop
that.
him, bro.
Yeah.
No one could
I think
stop him.
that's the funny thing about fighting, especially when you say like Demarte style is like people saying lay and pray.
Lay
I'm
and
like,
pray, yeah.
you know what he's gonna do, and you still can't stop
can't
it.
stop
Yeah.
it,
So where's the
It's
problem
like when
here?
you like roll like a top level jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
Like you know you're about to be armbarred, and
But
and
you
you're
wanna
like a
stop it.
fucking decent jiu-jitsu player, and you're about to get armbarred, and you know it's coming, and you can't
Yeah.
stop it.
Well,
bro.
I
It's
think
like,
I remember. I think it was that All-Star grappling comp. It was like 2011. Demarte like shattered my jiu-jitsu dreams when he came in. I think he just like, if I remember, just smashed Brett. I think he got on top of that oak and I remember you were a white belt at the time,
Oh,
and Brett
yeah.
was my kids coach. He had
Yes,
just
yes,
got
yes,
his
yes.
brown belt, and you smashed this oak. And I was like, and they're like, no, he's just a wrestler. I was like, but jiu-jitsu's the best. How did he do that? So sad.
oh man.
But yeah, like there's so many things like as a fighter where you like you don't want to be labeled a certain way of like lay and pray and the kind of shit, no stand up, no whatever. So I think I just try to do my best and get better. So, but fighting is really, really hard, man. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not easy.
bro, you get guys that in the gym, they're amazing, bro. But once you step in there, bro, it's hard, bro. The lights and the pressure, you're gonna lose money, and it's hard, bro. Fighting is hard, bro. Like people don't understand it, man. Fighting is very,
How-
very hard.
How close did the fight between you and Boyd ever come? I remember. Do you remember
I
they used to?
wasn't
They
gonna-
did the
dude,
videos.
that's brute. You can still find it on YouTube. It's the most cringiest thing.
It is
to
terrible
watch.
with the video
It's
in the office.
so horrible, bro. And they're like, "We will pay you. We will pay you."
Yeah.
Yeah, then they're like, okay, 300,000. No, we're not gonna pay you that amount of money.
And that wasn't gonna happen, bro. No.
Oh,
no
that
ways.
was so. That's honestly.
Boyd is a top ball. Bro.
I remember
Shit.
you opened I think you opened the bantamweight division with that because they announced it shortly afterwards, and then you relinquished and
Yes,
into
then
bantamweight.
he fought. Yeah, Boyd is a legit guy. One of the guys that really, have much respect for him. And yeah, we had a lot of that team has had a lot of guys come in and out. So yeah, we're
Let's talk about UMF, the Marts.
yes.
The African Union, as I like to call it.
Is it so?
Hey?
Is
It's
it
just
so?
like the African Union. Is
Yeah.
You
just
guys are
decided
just
to-
missing Frenchie. You just need to import Frenchie.
Yeah, Frenchie.
Yeah.
And you got like Senegal, Zimbabwe, Angola,
Exactly. So
Congo. There must be some Congolese oaks in
no,
your
there's
camp.
plenty Congolese guys there. Yeah, it's it's guys come in and you go in, you do your thing and go home. So we try to avoid a lot of
what was a fight team what you initially had in mind, or was it kind of something that just happened?
Look, I wasn't gonna be fighting. Temba wasn't gonna be. He didn't want to fight anymore. And then he decided, you know what, I want to go back and fight. So then that's where it all came together. But initially, we just wanted to make money from the gym, which you don't really make money for. Then then I think now Temba is trying to go at it and trying to pursue his dreams. Hopefully, he gets to the UFC. But it's gonna be an interesting fight now. Next one is worked on a lot of things, and I honestly feel that he's going to finish Lau before the third round.
Just a quick question on Temba. That was it $500,000? $200,000. Was it Zimbabwean dollars or US dollars?
US dollars, bro.
Fuck.
That's what I said to you, bro. It could be,
bro.
It could
You know how many people message me asking 200,000. When I saw it, I was like, bro, you got $200,000, bro. I'm like, fuck, I got $200,000, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, and his DMs, bro, were like,
chicks, eh?
Hey,
Temba.
$200,000, bro. So I'm really happy for him.
Nothing will get you a date like
You know what
$200,000
I'm
in
saying?
the newspaper.
And they're already spending it in their mind, bro. They think spending your money, bro. So, but he's a good guy,
that's
bro.
awesome.
Like
That is
Temba
madness.
comes across as aggressive, but Temba has really got a really good heart. Once he trusts you and whatever, he got a good heart, and obviously a lot of people don't understand him, but he's a really good guy. And man, I've known him for quite a while. We obviously shared the training for quite a long time. We had really mad sparring sessions, and he's always trying to like beat me, like in things which I love. We're very competitive, and like when we were still at FM, me and him, we had a lot of wars, man, fucking like crazy. So it's been good, I'm really happy with where he is, and hopefully he gets to the top level of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Just before we take a look at this card, Rourke.
Well, there was you got quite a few up and coming guys. Sean Frost with you guys.
Yeah,
He
Sean
just
Frost
won,
trains with us. Yeah, won the Alpha. Yeah,
He just won the Alpha welterweight title.
yes, he's a really good fighter. Hey, sure. Hopefully, he can make his debut in the EFC or
My
maybe
boy.
other promotions. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Zulu over
Zulu.
here, is he training with you as well?
Yeah, trains with us, and obviously also trains with Jamie at
GBI.
He's fighting
GBI.
Shannon, eh?
Yeah.
That's a good fight.
Bro, Shannon is aggressive, eh? Oh, man, that kid.
Right.
He
There's one of
just
those dudes who looks like he should
Bro,
be doing your books, but
he
meantime
just
he's gonna
comes
fucking
forward
blast
and
you.
comes.
He rearranged Rourke's knee for him in December.
Oh,
I technically rearranged my own knee. I just
did you
butterflied.
grapple him?
Yeah, we fought. Well, we grappled at to the Submission Quest Invitation. It was my first match.
Yeah.
I was going in there so confident. I was looking through him already. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to just get through this so I can fight Jamie.
Yeah.
And then put a butterfly hook in. Heard this popping sound, and that was the end.
He like does. He only has one like just a go.
You
So
will know you learn, boy. That's what my boy John
I
Kavanagh
learned.
says.
yeah.
I learned a valuable lesson. He's got some slick back takes.
You
He
win,
took my
learn it,
back.
and you lose.
Yeah, no,
Losing
yeah.
sucks, dude.
it does, bro. It does.
Yeah, I lost and got stuff.
That's what makes winning so good.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Sure.
nothing beats winning. So
He's
yeah.
coming off of a win with
Raymond.
Ray. Eh?
Yeah, he beat Ray, yeah.
Yeah, beat Raymond, and hopefully we get Raymond back in there. So I don't know what the plans are. I think a lot of the guys, they want to do the All African, eh?
Yeah.
All African, and Julian, obviously, Rich wasn't happy about the decision. A lot of the guys that was saying, they were complaining they weren't even there. It was close. I thought we won
But
the
that's
fight.
nothing to do with you guys, though.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
MMA say that judge shown,
Yeah.
but obviously people always want to bring and say no, but it's his promotion. I don't choose. I'm not the judge. The judges I think were, Freddie was one of the judges and all those other guys. They made the call. I thought he won the fight. He controlled the fight. I thought he won 2 of those rounds, but
Yeah, I think people forget that the promotion and the sanctioning body are completely separate.
It's
The
MMA
EFC
said
has
that.
nothing to
That's-
the EFC has nothing to do with Massa,
Yeah.
and RFC has nothing to do
Well,
with
I think
Massa.
that
Making
was
decisions.
the grey area with EFC at one stage, because some of the master people were working out of the EFC office. So that was like the grey area.
But they weren't judging fights.
Yeah, but
That's the
listen,
thing.
dude, in the fans' mind, that's not something that's unique to South Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
Even in the US, people are like, oh, the UFC and their judges. They're like, no, bro.
No, it's
that's
different.
It's
not
like the
how
biggest
it works.
The biggest controversy that it still baffles me that people think it's even possible, is saying that the EFC orchestrated the draw between Don and Boyd.
Yeah, that,
It's like-
that fight was, yeah.
Do you know how many people would have to collude to make that happen? And none of them must talk about it. Like,
We would have heard something. At some
someone
point
would have
about
said something at some stage.
The,
right?
the only possibility is that if you're a judge and you bet. So if I'm a judge and I bet on fights, there's quite a lot of money you can make in bets if you actually.
Surely a judge should be banned from betting on fights.
But-
yeah, of course.
But
bro.
that, like, one
But
of
they
the,
also, bro, like it's the same thing. Like I've said to you how many times. How can we have guys that are judging fights while their fighters are on the card,
Yeah.
and then going from being a judge to being in their corner, and then shouting at the other judges that you work with about their fighter in the fight, bro? How does that even?
especially
But a lot of
if
the
you
time
the-
they withdraw themselves apparently from the judge. Let's say if you have your own guy fighting, say no,
Yeah.
it's too
That
conflicted.
happens.
Yeah.
But recently there was a guy who was a ref in a fight who then went to corner and then saw something happen and then
Tuned out the
shouted.
guys,
We could hear it through all
Yeah,
of
it was right in front of us.
from everywhere, shouting, "That's illegal! That's illegal!"
Yeah, I
Then this
remember-
is somebody's boss,
Yeah.
in essence, not his boss, but like
But
the
he's like,
leader of the
yeah.
crew, now telling another ref what's going
Was
on.
that was the Dino fight, eh?
Yeah,
I remember that. That was.
I mean, dude, like surely you
Dino and Anisset.
and
And
no,
PT.
and
PT.
PT.
Oh, okay.
But there's a conflict
Yeah.
there. You understand what I'm saying? There's a conflict there. There has to be. You know what I mean? So like, let's say you're in the gym and you're a ref, or okay, no, let's say Sylvester and Zulu are fighting each other, and you're cornering Zulu and Temba's the judge, and you're shouting at Temba what should happen.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, he's going to have to be
yeah.
like, okay, well, let me hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you'd
there's a
actually
definite conflict of
you'd
interest
definitely
there.
give it some interest, like what this guy's saying,
Yeah.
because
Yes, of
I mean,
course.
he's obviously an official. I agree with you. I think if you have a fight on that card, you should be completely withdrawn from
Yeah,
the event as an
100%.
official.
You're either in the corner or you're an official. You can't do both.
Yeah.
We don't have actually a lot of judges here as well. eh?
No, for
So,
sure. I do
so-
understand that. I do understand.
I think that we need more guys to actually be judges and.
But we
actually-
also can't rush that process.
Yeah.
There's
That's a
got to
big
be
thing.
some sort of skill set behind the judge. You know, they can't. I don't think you can. Like, I've seen a couple judges like they've quite literally either just watched or walked off on the street and become judges. You know, people who haven't really ever stepped on a mat and grappled in their life, and now they're judging people who are at the top level of the sport doing, say, grappling, and they've never stepped foot on a grappling mat in their life. You know.
The biggest thing is when judges say that no matter what, if you're on your back in guard, you're losing the fight. Like,
Yeah.
that's literally not the situation.
Yeah.
Like,
Ask Tony Ferguson, bro.
or
Yeah.
think about even when Gareth and Peter were fought, and Gareth knocked him out with those elbows from
Yeah.
the guard. Like, I mean, there's a very good possibility that you're winning the fight from guard, but like, a lot of these guys will come back and say to you, yeah, but he was on his back for the whole round. It doesn't mean anything. If he tried to almost submit him like 10 times and he was raining down shots like elbows and that from the guard, like, he definitely won the round. Like,
Yeah.
if you're just going to lay there and chow all those shots, then you should lose the round. But like, that's the problem, is that you got guys who don't have a clear understanding of jiu-jitsu, they don't have a clear understanding of wrestling, they don't have a clear understanding of kickboxing.
No,
So they don't understand like what actually is a significant strike, what's not a significant
Yeah.
strike, you know?
How did you guys score the John Jones fight and Reyes?
See, I'm too uneducated to answer that. I would say it's one of those fights again, like we saw Whaley versus John Jacek.
Yeah.
It's a very similar sort of thing. I actually felt that John Jacek won that fight.
Me too. I
You know what
thought
I
it
mean?
was gonna
But
win,
that being
Statistically, she
said,
did as well.
that being said, it's both of those fights for me. I'm happy to see a draw, but I'm not going to argue with whoever wins that fight. I'm like,
You
look,
think-
you guys have kind of both left it. The John Jones fight was a little bit different because he was clearly accelerating,
he was
especially like the
trying to push,
last 6-7 minutes. You know what I mean? There was a big difference. Whaley, John Jacek, it was just hammer and fist from start to end. You
If
know what I
it
mean?
were
It was
the
such
other
a
way
hard.
around, if Joanna was the champion,
She
and
would've-
she would have won. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People get mad when you say they're like the champions kept the belt or you got to go beat the champion. Like it shouldn't be like that.
It isn't like that. I mean, that's literally not the rule.
No.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but I still think that is happening, bro. I still think judges are still looking like, look,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't really take the belt. You both went at it, but she's a champion, so you haven't taken that from her. I don't know, because if you're going round by round, that's never really going to happen.
Yeah.
But dude, like you say, the CompuStrike numbers were in favor of
Well,
John
they said-
Jacek, but
They said Joanna landed 21 more significant strikes.
in the scale of 5-minute rounds. Is 21 strikes really all that much?
No, 100%. But
You're talking about four punches
what,
in a
at the
round.
end
Or
of the day,
something,
it's
dude, you know what I mean?
difficult.
You're judging like damage as opposed to volume. So
Yeah.
Jacek is a volume striker. She hits a lot,
For sure.
but not necessarily hard.
sure.
Whereas you can
Look, dude.
obviously see her face was busted up.
Proper.
So I think that's what people were looking at. They were like,
I don't think
her
either
face is
person can
busted.
be super upset.
No,
about
I don't
that.
think anyone can be
Yeah.
upset. You would be actually probably more happy with the draw in that scenario.
Yeah, I think
That's what I think.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, if ever there's a time for a draw, this is it. You know
The
what I'm
fight
saying?
was really good though.
It was
Sure.
just, it was close.
Amazing.
Better
What
than
do you
main
do?
event.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, call it a draw. Let's rerun that shit. If I'm done, I'm just like, hey, bro, here's 50 grand.
Yeah.
Here's 50 grand.
That main event, I don't know if you guys have ever watched like some of those Lupini fights on Fight Pass, and like round, you know, like in Muay Thai, like round 1 and 2 is very slow because they're trying to get the gambling going in the crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Then round 3 and 4 is like the money rounds, and
Yeah.
they're trying to like actually win the fight. But you know, like if someone like clearly dominates round 3 and 4 and they're going to win the fight, you know, when they come out to round 5, that they don't fight each other. They just stand there. They preserve each other, right? Because they're going to fight next week. So it's like a whole round of them like just
Yeah, like
dancing
the
around.
first
No one
round.
throws a kick. No one throws a punch. That's kind of like the feeling you got in round 1 with Adesanya.
Have you seen the memes? It's the best meme I saw out of the whole weekend. And it's like the first, like, I think it's like 45 seconds, and it's like when you and your mate are trying to figure out the controls. it's the best
You're
thing.
like, okay, slip
Yeah,
kick,
it's
slip
the
punch.
best thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quality. But yeah, I mean, with judges and shit, I mean, we can talk about it forever. Before we have a look at this card quickly, Demarte, what I wanted to ask you, because you're in, unfortunately, a very unique position, but I think in that position you've been able to do other things for your future, for your family, in this cuck situation, and it's also put you in a situation where perhaps you could give some very meaningful advice to young fighters on the up that would listen to this, and you would say, listen, don't do this, do this XYZ. What would you advise through this whole reflection of 4 years being off, trying to reinvent yourself as a business person, as someone that loves MMA and then obviously still wants to compete? What would be your main line of advice?
I think it's very simple, you know. If in terms of obviously the supplementation, whatever you take, if you take it and something's on it, you're guilty. So I think people shouldn't take ignorance is not your friend. So if you're an athlete and obviously in any sports and you take any form of supplements, wherever they may be, if it's banned or you not banned, you don't know. If you get caught, you fucked. So I think guys just need to be more cautious whatever they take, and yeah, man. And if you don't have the money, you're gonna get fucking 4 years. So maybe become wealthy, then you can take whatever you want.
do you
I'm joking.
think
But
do you
yeah.
think there's a way? I mean, and so when I asked Mr. Khalan from Saids
Yeah.
what his advice was
Yeah.
in these situations was simple: don't take supplements.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's easy for you to say because you're not doing 3-4 sessions a day, you're not putting your body through all of this stuff, and I hear it, I understand. I'm like,
I mean,
cool,
that's like a
don't.
super ignorant answer to
Yeah.
come from
But
a
it is.
professional.
But
in that
that's
industry.
that was his response.
But
So I'm
in,
like,
in their rules, they don't say don't take supplements. He will tell you face
Yeah.
to face. Why I think they don't do that is because obviously the supplement companies, they want to make money. So they don't want to push that narrative, don't take supplements as such.
sure.
But at the end of the day, they should actually say, you know what, if you use supplements, then don't use supplements, you know? But they don't want that because they're making money. It's like $1 billion rand or whatever.
Yeah, it's massive. People
So-
don't understand how big the
It's
supplement
massive, yeah.
industry
So
is.
they definitely not gonna say don't take supplements, or they're not gonna ban you from taking supplements. But if it does happen that the supplements tainted and you get tested, you screwed, my man. So
Would you say as a youngster, and perhaps this is something very close to home for you, don't fall for the trap of, hey, Demarte Pena, we're Biogen, we're going to sponsor you. Here's some money, here's all of these supplements, and you're just like, I've been waiting for this, is what I've been working for. Take it in, be scrutinize a little bit more, be more cautious with those sort of things.
look, I think we really need sponsors in terms of fighting. You know, a lot of us are struggling with,
Sure.
you know, leading up to fights, and we need money. That's just the reality as a fighter. Take the supplements. Take the money, sell the supplements, make more money, and just be cautious whatever you take. plain, they're not testing.
Sell the Biogen and get something
No, sell the stuff. I mean,
more reliable.
I think sell the stuff. A lot of the supplement companies, they do it on purpose, where they actually taint it so that it works better. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna take it, it's your risk.
Sure.
Yeah. I think
That's it. Like, if you're gonna use whatever, it's your own doing. And
Sure.
if something is on it, knowing your own unknowingly, you are guilty. So that's what I've learned to accept. I took the supplements, knowingly or unknowingly, it came out that way. I accepted it, and I got what it got, and that's it, man. Like, I think I just needed to accept that to just move on with my life and make different decisions going forward. So yeah, man. Like, if you didn't know, you didn't know. They don't care, bro. That's it. Like,
Do you think that, like, if you needed the supplementation, right?
yeah.
Would you not advise people to rather go with one of the major brands like a Optim Nutrition or a Muscle
Optim
Farm that
is
have
good, yeah.
that have like accredited laboratories that obviously do their supplementation, and obviously a lot of them have verified sports safe
Yeah.
labels on it, whereas
But-
like Biogen's a local brand and got a lot of money but might not have as stringent laboratories that are doing all the mixing and so forth.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of what people need to understand, in terms of the supplement business, we can start a supplement brand and say sports safe. We just put that logo there.
Yeah.
No one is going to come and tell us you can't put this logo here.
Yeah.
So it's not like, let's say something's halal where I think you go through a specific process where you
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
okay, this is halal and you can eat this meat or whatever. So you can literally put whatever you want on the label.
And you can say proprietary blend on it.
You can say whatever. You can say whatever, as long as it's not obviously making medical claims, because then the medical board, I think, comes for you. It's not a medical product and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what you gotta understand. Whatever you're taking from that, it's your own indaba. So it is what it is. Like I honestly never thought like leading up to my career that I'll get this point, but yeah, man, you gotta accept it. And a lot of people, they get different things and. Look at Oscar Pistorius, bro. My life is not that bad. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's probably a clear example. Like, had he not been in a position that he was in, he just would have got the maximum sentence.
Yeah.
He didn't have the money to defend himself, and like that's what you referencing is that if you
And-
don't have the money to defend yourself, 4 years.
And
cheers.
honestly,
Yeah.
if Oscar, let's say he wasn't as high profile and his case wasn't as followed as much, the public opinion matters a lot, obviously, in terms of criminal cases. With him, if it wasn't in the public eye, I saw he wasn't even going to get a few 1 year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So money matters, and at the end of the day, it's about business. So if I had a few $1 million, I swear I wasn't going to spend 4 years, bro.
Sure. Well,
And you
well,
would have
look at
gone off.
never,
You could have
bro.
gone off the Biogen. Look at Yoel. He doesn't even have to fight again in his life.
he
27
hasn't,
million.
been paid.
He hasn't been
bro.
paid yet, but like I said,
I heard he got a portion of it though, because they
Did he?
didn't
Okay.
do liquidation.
Mm.
They stayed afloat,
Oh,
That
okay.
shows
and
you
they're
how
doing
much money
they're doing a payment plan on him.
Oh, okay. so-
But think about you talk about that. Think about the whole John Jones debacle. They
Yeah.
literally moved an entire fight
yeah,
night
to go in.
somewhere else.
But he
For
took
him.
oral turinabol and only got a year and a half.
Allegedly.
Only got a
It
year
was
and
a
a
dick
half.
pull, bro. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
come on.
Yeah.
That's the height of
Who has
negligence.
actually gotten 4 years in the UFC?
No one.
Well,
2
TJ got
years.
busted for EPO.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
that.
dude.
And literally
He should get
admitted to
an
it.
he should get an award for fucking
Yeah, and he was the
managing
second
to
person
do
to be
that,
caught
bro.
with the EPO. Ali Bagawitnov or whatever his surname is also got caught with the EPO, and he only spent 2 years on the sideline.
And that's the unfortunate thing is once you get busted for something, people just go crazy. Like no one brought up that every single one of his previous results was.
Well, he had like
No, people don't care
35
about
clean
that, bro.
tests.
Yeah.
He had 35
Like-
clean tests.
Look at Adesanya. Is an exciting fighter. He has one relatively boring fight. Now people
Yeah, yeah.
label him as a
Yeah.
certain way. You see, but people like trendy things and they like
Sure.
the bad news,
It's
which
true.
is exciting. So at the end of the day, then you do something amazing, be like, oh, but you took Biogen, or this last fight, oh, doesn't matter. Like Graham and Said were having a chat, I think, on Instagram. And then it's like, Graham is like, oh, but you never lost. I'm like, dude, you fucking lost, bro. Yes, but you lost. Like, let's say the first fight, okay, we can put aside. You lost the second fight. It's not like you can say, oh, no, this and that. But, people always go in that route where, okay, it's convenient,
Sure.
Like people always want to justify their failures based on certain things. They're like, oh, it works out because of biogen. Oh, he's doing an extra session. Oh, obviously he's doing that because he's using supplements. Bro, I've been in this game for so long. Guys are using supplements, that's a guarantee. And guys use other shit, that's a guarantee. We're not even gonna lie about that. I know personally a lot of the shit, but guys are not getting tested as they should be. They should knock on your door fucking at 3 a.m. They only test sometimes champions. Now they don't test a lot of the guys anymore. They don't do out of competition testing in the EFC. Only maybe if you're a champion, maybe they'll test you, maybe they won't. So many championship fights, they don't get tested. It's like, fuck, bro. They must go test guys and we'll see at home. Then you'll know.
Like
you know,
Max Merton, they should go test Max now.
Not anymore.
That'd be
because
awesome, bro.
He's banned, yeah.
He lives at the Turinabol factory though. So
I think he runs the tournament.
But he's a shame, but he's a nice guy. Shame,
No, he's definitely a nice guy. I've just
nice
got
guy,
so many
Shame.
questions. I just want to call him and just be like,
Shame.
Max, what are you thinking?
It's shame.
Anyways,
but you're shame, man.
Let's take a look
It's
at this
bad.
card. One of the cool things we're trying to do, Demarte, is hand out some betting advice to the young folk out there looking
So
to make a
EFC
few.
fight card, yeah.
some things to bet your house on.
So yeah.
Hold on. Your flawless streak came to an end this past
I
weekend.
know.
Hardcore.
Yeah, finally.
What did you got?
I hit like 4 in a row, 5 out of 5 picks,
Oh, wow.
and now I'm failing.
What were you this weekend? Like
Yes, dude, I was
2 and 3
bad,
or
eh?
3 and 2?
So I got Adesanya right, I got Whaley right,
Yes, I think we had the same, yeah?
I got
Same.
Dariush, and that was it.
Yeah.
That
'Cause I
Dariush
called-
fight was insane.
Dude, how crazy was that knockout, bro? Oh my word. Dariush is like one of my favorite fighters of all time.
All the guys were in the red corner one, eh? Which corner was it?
I'm not actually
Something,
sure.
something
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
like
I
that.
think
All the
you're
guys
right.
that were on a specific corner won in the
Yeah,
last
because
UFC.
so you guys got Neil Magny right? You
Yeah,
got
Neil
Demarte.
Magny I chose as well.
I think
yeah.
we got everyone except for the chicks fight right.
Yeah.
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 Guys did, yeah.
And then what was the first fight? Closer versus.
Drakkar Closer versus
Oh, I can't remember.
something with an M.
Was it not Cowboy? No, it wasn't Cowboy.
No, no,
right?
no. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it was
Cowboys.
yeah.
Because I think
Yeah, so the only fight I got wrong was Neil Magny, bro. What are you
that was
talking
the one
about?
where he did the
4 out of 5, boy.
did that like Khabib scoop on that.
Yes, he
Khabib.
was trying to do the Khabib, that handcuff, yeah.
I don't know why people would bet against Neil Magny. The guy's got such a high win rate.
Yeah,
In-
and his
you know-
beats and legit
yeah.
guys, yeah.
No, Neil Magny's also a guy who just had some USADA problems for a tainted supplement, funny enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he
Yeah.
wasn't competing.
Yeah, 18
okay.
months he served.
But now look at the UFC. They're so proactive that they give you specific supplements that you can take. And if
Dude.
it's tainted, then you are off.
Demarte, let me tell you how crazy seeing that whole cog move that is the UFC, like the
Next level,
P3, the rehydration packs, trifecta, how that stuff all comes together.
Yeah,
as a
it's
fight,
craziness.
you know what? In the UFC, as a fighter, all you have to do is pitch up,
Yeah.
ready. That's all you have to do.
The food and everything's for free there.
The dudes come
Yeah.
to your table, they bring you your food, they bring you the supplements, they show that, like at the weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins, so the guys come up onto the stage, the little kind of stage thing, get on the official scale, and there's just hydration packs, and there's like 3 dudes standing there with a set standard hydration pack, obviously all the stuff. I mean, you guys know it's electrolytes, it's digestive enzymes, it's all of this, all of that. It's there, dude. It's ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
even have to use it, but it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's ready to rock.
I
and
saw
roll.
that also at the pre-fighter briefing, they give you a full rundown of what you should be doing in your
Yeah,
weight
yeah,
cut
yeah,
to have
yeah.
a safe weight cut. Like they monitor
And it's
everything.
scientific, dude. The
Yeah.
guys are they're not messing around. They know who you are. They know your measurements. They know everything about you. Like it's all ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, that's the
That's-
logical place to fight, bro.
Do you
That's
think-
insane, dude. It's insane.
Do you think Bet Exchange knows something we don't? Because
What
this
have they
is
picked?
Neil Duplessis versus Giovanni Pretorius.
Hell,
No, I don't
Love
think
to see
I don't
that
think
fight.
Giovanni's fighting, bro.
that's very interesting.
That's meant to be
Um,
Stefan Pretorius.
Yeah, I think
So let's just have a quick look here. Just open the card quickly, Rocky. I mean, you've obviously got some
Hey,
interest
did this
down
fight
on.
change? Sorry, this bottom one.
Yeah. It wasn't Donnie Swart originally. And
So
for
Don is the
Wasn't it Billy Oosthuizen?
No,
No.
No,
Billy's
that's
fighting
Columba.
Ali Columba, yeah. I can't remember who he was originally scheduled for, though.
Yeah. You also remember it being someone different.
Yeah,
right?
it was someone different, definitely.
Okay. Let's get some picks going.
So if you had to pick 2 wins on the prelim cards,
Mhm.
what would those be?
I think Simon
Oh, definitely.
And another guy that really looked very nervous in the media thing was this Kalambai versus
Yeah,
Osta.
he
Bro,
did. He
it
was a
so
little
s-
bit rattled there.
bro,
He was.
He looked so scared, bro.
Who? Columbo?
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
goodness,
I fought
bro.
that dude once.
Oh, you fought him?
I broke his arm in an arm bar, actually,
Oh,
funny
wow.
enough.
And
Bro,
Billy Oosthuizen hits
He
him
was scared.
extremely
He
hard.
looked really, really scared. So I think that's sure bets there.
And Roy Lacolo still training with you?
Yes, he's still training with us.
He's a beast of a human being. Eh?
Yeah, it's
They should
very-
donate his body to science.
Yeah,
he's
very
a
strong guy. Yeah,
big individual. Yeah.
JT bought his debut, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Debut, yeah.
No, I think Roy should take this.
Nice fight that actually.
Yeah.
Very, very nice fight.
But
Two
a lot
massive
of
human
the
beings.
Congolese guys, they're very good in the gym, but I don't know what happens then when they step in there. I don't know, but I think if he just goes in with a good mindset, he should take this fight.
So the Congolese fight culture is very interesting to me, because they, like, from how I understand what they've said to me is, in the Congo is split up into like 4 sections: is boxing, wrestling, judo, and something else. I don't know what is, maybe a more traditional sort of fighting. And all of these guys, like when they came to South Africa, they all like, there's like fractions that stick together, and it's like whether what you trained, like whether you did boxing, karate, I think there was other one. Whether you did boxing, you didn't really chill with the judo
with the
guys,
guys, yeah.
and so on and so on. So they've got like this weird culture, and I think they kind of carry that with them as well. They don't want to let down like their boxing village or whatever it is. So I think they deal with it externally, and they're quite harsh. Like if you lose, I think they're quite harsh people. They're like,
bro, but in terms of physicality, bro, they're so strong, bro. The Congolese,
I
bro.
remember.
And how they make some of the weights that they make
Bro.
is ridiculous. Rocky Alunga looks like a welterweight, and then he's
Bro.
like, no, I fight a featherweight.
And their diets is so bad. Bro. Like, they eat shit, and most of them are like so muscular, bro. Like,
It was
Bro.
like Champion Dulce. I remember
Jeez, man.
watching him walk to the scale with like a 500ml Coke and a
Bro.
packet of knickknacks,
amazing.
and I'm like, that is not an athlete's protocol, surely.
But they're so skilled, bro. Like, I mean, let's say if you look at a guy like, let's say, what's his name, Ige Cabeza, you know,
Yeah,
with the right opportunities, the guy is like so skilled, bro. Like,
yeah.
fuck.
But don't you think Iga's downfall has just been being associated with a decent management company? You know, like
Yeah.
he doesn't have a management company that has any sort of like connections with other organizations.
He
Like-
should be like fighting like elsewhere, hey?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
long
he
time
should
ago.
he should have signed to
Long time
MTK Global, or he should have signed to one of the big European management companies, and they could have pushed him in the right direction. Look
Yeah.
at BK, like it's like that.
Yeah.
These, the opportunities are there. It's just
Like, I think out of most of the guys that I train with, one of the best fighters, BK,
Yeah,
really good.
what a beast.
Bro, that in the gym he doesn't do as well, like, but when he fights, man, he's amazing. I think he's definitely one of the best fighters that I've ever trained.
Yeah,
with,
I
you know?
can't wait to see what comes of BK.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, and ONE FC is like the perfect fit for
Yeah.
him, because I think that Asian market is just going to swallow him up. He's got the look, like that high, like crazy backflips and all of that stuff. They're going to chew that
But
up.
now
man.
with this coronavirus, man, everything is just
Yeah,
too
it's
shit,
a
bro.
bit of a problem.
Like, they're canceling every fucking
Yeah, it's a
thing,
big
man.
problem.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm thinking? You know, I love a lot of conspiracy and stuff. Imagine
Are you a flat earther?
not a flat earth as such, but if you look at, let's say, the yellow fever, right? You can't travel anywhere without that yellow fever thing. Imagine now the World Health Organization comes up with a thing where you need to get vaccines for coronavirus, right? Then someone is obviously going to profit from
starts
that.
$1 billion
My man, let's say if
industry.
they make it every 3 months, you need a new vaccine.
Well, this sounds like a business idea more than a conspiracy.
No, yeah, 100%. I'm just going along those lines. Let's say maybe this is just a ploy just to make more money, because now let's say if they make it mandatory for you to have a coronavirus vaccine every 3 months, maybe even if the vaccine is fucking 100 rand, bro, and how many billions of people are traveling, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think you just follow the money, you see where who's profiting from this coronavirus thing. Now they're dramatizing this whole thing everywhere.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
Well,
man.
it's gonna come where you're gonna see people are gonna need to start paying
like-
up.
Swine flu is way more hectic.
or even like
Ebola, bro.
We
was-
got, I better say Ebola. We currently have a problem with Ebola. Like
Bro.
the mortality rate in Ebola is like 10, 15 times higher than
See, the
coronavirus.
difference with Ebola is like it's contained in one portion of Africa, so no one really cares.
Initially, I thought
That's always the
coronavirus, once you
problem.
get it, bro, you fucked and you're dead.
Yeah,
the following
you're
day.
gone,
It's
eh?
like
Bro,
a
you can still
100%
stay home
fatality.
It's
and
like a
chill.
0.02% mortality rate in
Yeah,
people
no.
under the age of 39.
People for sure need to calm down.
It's only so severe for people with compromised immune systems,
Yeah.
right?
Like people that are over
But I
80.
honestly think
And with those compromised immune systems, it's a 2% mortality
Yeah.
rate. Like,
I honestly think someone is pushing this. Obviously, probably this big pharmaceuticals. Then they're gonna come up with a vaccine where it's gonna be mandatory. Then you're gonna start paying fucking every time you travel, you need a vaccine. Maybe 300 rand. Imagine how many people are
Well,
traveling.
Well, the UAE is already like you won't go in without a blood test. They're like, sorry, bro.
Imagine once, bro, the billions of, then someone actually, I was speaking to some other guy, said then they're going to add some shit in those vaccines where they're going to cause cancer. Then there's big money elsewhere where once you take those vaccines in the 10 years time, 15 years time, you're going to need now cancer medication. We all fucked, bro. I swear to God, bro.
Not to be the bearer of bad
No,
news.
but legit, then the foods that we eat fucks us up more.
Yeah, I'm not-
Look how bad cancer is, my man. Almost every other person you hear has died out of with cancer.
Yeah, it's 1 in 4.
It's crazy.
So we should like they need a population control, bro. With too many of us, man.
they're just vetting at the
Yeah,
moment.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get us, bro. So enjoy while it lasts.
And then,
It's fun,
well,
bro.
at least we can enjoy these fasts. Then it
Oh, no.
might be our last ones.
On
Yeah.
that light note.
Okay, so
Yes,
we
main
picked
card,
so we picked
moving on.
Billy Oosthuizen and Cameron Simon to really bolster your bets.
Yeah.
Besides those two, is there any other fight that sticks out for you personally as like a great fight to watch?
I think Kenna versus Cole Henning
Yeah,
will be a
I'm
good fight.
super excited about that fight.
Yeah.
Cole Henning makes me feel very nervous.
No,
He's
Cole-
a very
Cole Hen-
scary individual.
Yeah, no, and I think is worked a lot in his stand up. I had a few sparring sessions with him when the guys from BIA Brothers in Arms were coming to train with us before Temba and Conrad had
Yeah, before the beef.
yeah,
before the press conference
beef,
beef.
He's a good fighter, hey. So he's got good ground and good stand up. I think maybe he's gonna take that one back. Obviously, he lost the one
And
with.
he's
Yeah.
Big underdog if
Yeah, I think
not
that
wrong.
one.
Yeah.
If you wanna possibly try and make
Nice
some money out of
underdog,
it.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's a
That
nice
fight
little-
that fight be good. First fight, I think Swart is he hasn't really done well, and he gets a shock under the lights. And
Mozambique power.
I think
coming
that
from-
Mashava is gonna win this fight as
That
well.
is a specimen.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm gonna go ahead and say that you can literally bet as much money as you like for Colin Hume to beat Willem Smith. No offense, Willem Smith.
But aren't they?
You think so?
Neither guy's won before, huh?
Yeah, no.
They're both 0 something.
Listen,
Yeah,
I think,
Smith is 0-3.
and this is when I'm.
Don't
What?
say that.
What?
Don't bet on that fight.
No,
No,
that's
that
that's
seems
true
like a
though.
bad
When I put money, I also skip that fight. Yeah.
Just go to Colin Muse Hume on Instagram for me for a
But
second, Rob.
this fight with Kamba and this Bandu
That's a
guy
good
is
fight, yeah.
fucking a beast.
Yeah, you guys were
Jesus,
talking about it
man.
at the media day, but he
He
seems
comes
like
out with a fucking panga and all this fucking knives and like.
I thought that would have been a main card fight.
Yeah, no,
because
this
there was a
fight's
lot
gonna
of
be-
like push behind
yeah.
the.
And Mark Cummins also is no slouch. Dude.
Oh,
He
yeah,
did well
brilliant.
Hits
against
like a
Dallas,
truck,
eh?
yeah. Hits
He was
like a
doing
truck.
well, then he just got tired. Yeah.
Gas tank, yeah.
Yeah, disappointing.
Do you think? But you know what? I'm always scared. It's one thing to call yourself the Panga Man,
Yeah.
but it's another thing to call yourself the Panga Man and have thick ass scars across
Bro,
your face, which
he's
makes you
scary
wonder.
dude, eh?
Which makes you wonder.
He's a fucking scary dude. this guy.
Jesus,
What's his background?
2 meter reach, dude.
Yeah, he's a
His
scary,
wingspan is 2 meters. He's long as fuck.
scary, tough dude as well. Yo, I checked some of his amateur fights. Oh fuck. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So that's a great fight to watch. Okay, main card.
Yeah,
Let's get some picks going.
Yeah, main card. I think Manegela is winning.
And you
that
know he's
one.
an underdog, yeah?
He's an underdog against Ruvan.
Yeah.
Dude, no. There's something, bro. You know what's going on here? This is the honey dick of the year. What's happening with Bet Exchange right now? Are you on Bet Exchange?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why, bro.
Bet Exchange.
These oaks they don't know what's going on, bro.
Who gives them this stuff though?
So how
Graham,
this
eh?
actually works, I don't know from the EFC side with Bet Exchange, but collectively how it works is actually a company that does all of this stuff, like for all the betting companies. It's one company that does odds. But from what I understand, so the guys locally here are using that and then putting it against what they get from, like, I think Cairo and
Yeah, they consult. I
Yeah,
think with Graham.
yeah.
Yeah, Graham says, "Oh no, I think." But I think
Now
Manigala.
there's a conspiracy.
No, but it's legit. Graham, I think, gives them like some odds and stuff. But I think Manigala, if his weight cut goes well, it's very difficult to make bantam, guys. Fuck, it's tough.
Yeah, and he's a big
He's
fella.
big,
eh?
bro.
Yeah, he's tall, dude.
He's
yeah.
big. I remember Oaks when I made bantamweight. They were like, "You're so big for bantamweight," and then you look at Manigala. He's
Yeah.
way bigger than me, bro.
He's
Like
massive.
significantly bigger than me.
I spoke to Chris. He says he's around already 66-ish. But for me, every time I got to 63, that's where I was like my.
And that's
stops.
Where the
Bomb.
problem
Then
starts. Yeah.
you try and shit, you try and fucking pray, but nothing happens.
But you said you used to
Anyway.
walk around at 73, eh?
Yeah.
That's even big for like world class bantamweights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
They usually walk around like 155 out of camp.
yeah, so but now I think my weight is much better now, you know. Mikishi should smash Kayambala.
Is this a print? Is this a typo, or has Makishi changed to Mukishi?
No, I think
Four.
it's a
Yeah,
typo, yeah.
type
I was gonna say maybe he just didn't want to be
Rikishi
associated
versus
with.
the Buffet King.
Mikishi is a good fighter, eh? Sure.
Yeah, he's brilliant, dude. I think he's
Good
got some of the
Why
some
was
of
he
the
off for so
like
long?
cleanest boxing I've seen. Like a guy that fighting career in a long time. He was talking about it at the press conference. He said he had an accident. It was hard to hear what he was saying, but he said something about an accident and he had to take time off. He said like 8 months.
But didn't he also change camps as well?
Yeah. So there was a
So who's he
camp
with now?
change. He's
With,
with
Conrad.
BIA.
Yeah.
Who was he with previously?
CRT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I trained a little bit with CIT.
But
then.
not that other fraction of CRT where
The one that.
The Goga system thing.
Yeah.
The one with. Who's the guy recently fought? Ashu.
Yeah, as Yashu
Yeah,
Chitamba,
he was
yeah,
also
the
the
same
dog.
camp, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he was with the GOG though, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought he was training with actually Mikishi. Not,
Bernardo.
Yeah. Are they not like related?
It's his younger brother.
Yeah, younger brother.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Oh,
There's
okay,
Bernardo, the other dude with the funny hairpiece.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Zach McQuassa part of that whole crew as well?
I think so, very possible.
He used to do like his whole camp in South Africa, and then go to Korhema's gym and finish it off, and then go fight in Glory.
So. we got
Tough.
Manigala.
This is a tough pick for me, to be honest, because, well, August is moving up to lightweight, so surely he has to make weight now.
Well, you don't know. That's the thing, is that people think that, like Warren was saying last week, people think, I'm moving up to feather, I
Yeah.
can eat more.
Case in point,
Yeah,
Luke
then they
Michael.
don't
And then
make
now
weight,
they're
yeah.
bigger at feather.
Case in point, Luke
Yeah.
Michael.
Kayambala is I've grappled him before. He's good on the he's good on the ground.
Warren, you've had some.
You've grappled with him before.
No,
Yeah,
Let's not
took-
go
was
down
it
that road.
FFMA?
No, he fought Kayambala last year.
On 5 days'
Okay.
notice,
Yeah,
out of camp, like,
Okay.
and then the guy, I think,
and he
was-
missed light.
But if
we-
you see his last
we
fight,
were-
he was so nervous. Yeah.
They said to me, "You come up from bantam, he'll meet you at feather, right?" So I didn't even cut weight. I just walked in, weighed in, I was fine.
Yeah, we drove. I
Right.
think we drove. You got the call. We literally loaded the car and drove down to Durban the next day.
Yeah, it was like quick sticks. Then he missed lightweight. He didn't make the lightweight limit for this featherweight fight.
Did they pay you more?
Yeah, they paid me like 50% of his purse. But I mean,
Which was like what, 2,000 rand?
dude,
Well, there was
it's so negligible, right?
Allegedly, he walked in there at like 80 something, 82 or 83 or something.
Yeah, they said he
ridiculous.
weighed in at
Dude,
80.
that looks like
His
4
legs
foot
though,
1,
yo,
bro.
his legs are like massive. Hey, sure.
He's like
Yeah,
a
he's
small
strong.
dog
Make no
man,
mistake
yeah.
about it. He's very strong. But it's very, like, high amplitude takedowns.
His last fight he did, it wasn't that impressive. Eh?
Against
He was
Caesar,
very-
no.
yeah, he looked very
He was
like,
super nervous.
yeah,
Yeah.
he looked nervous. And Mikishi he throws down, eh? So I think
Yes, he's
Mikishi
got
will
good
have
hands.
a-
Who was Mikishi's last win? Was a big one. Pierre Botha, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bota, yeah.
So that's a very
Couldn't
similar,
get taken down. He kept the
similar
fight on
sort
the
of
feet.
fight style, eh?
Yeah.
Where's Kyle Bala training out of? It's still with
Camp fight.
Cape
and,
Town, eh?
yeah, but with Dalcha. When he's, I don't see Dalcha training much at the moment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what happened with him, eh?
Yeah.
And the guy that he beat Dalcha, like that fight was so controversial, eh?
Setup, bro. That was a setup.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They were like, cool, we'll give you this African wrecking ball so you can just kick his head into orbit and then we'll call it a day.
Can fight.
China.
Shit.
That guy's lot.
Uncle
I think
Lev, bro.
Yeah, Uncle Lev's lost
Yeah.
one fight, bro.
Dude, that looks an animal. But you know, it's like, and I know Gareth Lombard was obviously, I don't know if he was aiming at me. I wasn't actually the ones that were saying this. I was trying to like, it's easy to say bad things about someone when like, as you know, when negative things have happened and stuff like that. We want champion we want champions to do well. I just think that whoever said yes to that fight made a mistake. That being said,
You got honey dicked hard there, bro.
that being said, you know, Warren, as well as anyone does, saying no to the UFC is not.
It's not
It's not an option actually.
It
It's
isn't
not
an option, bro.
So a lot of people were saying, "Oh, but like, how did his management say yes to this fight?" I'm like, dude, it's not actually. You can say no, but there's a repercussion in the UFC.
Look at
You know what
Yair
I'm saying?
Rodriguez. He wanted to choose fights. Then they say, "Okay, fuck off." Then he's like,
Exactly.
"Oh shit, please."
Exactly.
We know they got like 3 pools of fighters. They've got guys with a fight booked, guys that are healthy and ready to get a booking, and guys that are like injured. Or if you say no, you get thrown into the group
Yeah.
that is injured, not active, whatever. To get back to get into a fight, they don't need you, bro. They got 400 people on the roster. They can make fights happen. You know.
So yeah, 100%. So where I was getting with that is that my gripe wasn't actually with that, because I know that and I understand that. My gripe with that fight is that nowhere along the line and we all realistically we all knew something like this was going to happen with Dolce, and that's what happens when you go into the UFC. You're going to get tested in ways that you've never been tested. And his stand-up was exposed badly. Badly. You could see the difference between a world-class striker and an average striker. Do you understand what I'm
Even
saying?
the guy's ground and pound was fucking ridiculous.
No, the Russians don't mess around.
Well,
dude.
you look as good as your opponent lets you
Yeah.
be seen on TV. You know, like you go out there. Let's say it's me versus like a Nicky Holskin. Like I'm gonna look like I've never thrown a punch in my life,
Yeah.
right? Because he's at the highest level of kickboxing. But if you gave me to like spar some rando that's never fought before, I'd look like a world beater. So that's like the problem is like you don't really have a great assessment of someone's skill until they've gone up against the very best, you know. And unfortunately, he failed at that point, you know. To say that he can't come back, I mean, I hope
No,
he
he's
comes
definitely going
back.
to come back. He's one of those prime examples that I want to see him go somewhere, dude. A big camp.
Why doesn't he fight at middleweight? That was a
So
light heavyweight, right?
this is
That
another
makes
thing.
sense.
He has to.
Makes
So
sense.
the UFC is very particular. So from what I understand from his contract, he was contracted at light heavyweight. If he wins 2 on the trot, he can request to move down to middleweight.
Okay, so it's
You
gotta
can't actually
Yeah,
just
I suppose,
decide.
I suppose that's just protecting the UFC. Like they obviously sign people based on what needs they have
Yeah.
to like fill up divisions and that. So I mean, like, if you're not a world class lightweight, you're definitely not going to get into the UFC. They've got so
Yeah.
many lightweights,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Right? So guys might try and get into the UFC through welterweight and then get signed and say I want to fight at lightweight or something
Yeah.
like that. You know, so I think it's probably just to combat that.
But the reality is, like in the UFC, it's not a holiday day. Like
Like
guys
every oak in the UFC is
Bro.
great.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
No,
everyone's
it's the
got-
600 best fighters in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Day it's not a holiday, so you gotta like be ready to like.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go. Okay, so who you picking there, Demarte?
Mikishia.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
This one,
Warren's definitely picking Mikishi.
Yeah, definitely.
this one is a very hard one to call.
Neil Duplessis, Stephen Pretorius. This is one of the hardest picks on the
Yeah,
card
I think I didn't put money on this fight.
because it's at a heavier weight, so there's no weight cut involved, which kind of
Torres has more time to train as well, not like his last
yeah
fight.
yeah,
Short
and
time.
he's like, to me, every time I see him perform, he impresses me more and more. Stephen Pretorius,
he did well against Alal. Yeah.
he did really well. I actually thought he was going to win that a few times. He had moments.
I think Pretorius' key to victory is to make this a grappling affair
Yeah,
because I think there's a big gap there in between the two of them. I know Neil's got like this little bit of like a wrestling style on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ground,
Judo, yeah.
but
Judo.
but you saw when Neil went up against jiu-jitsu guys at the 8-man, like
Yeah.
that didn't last very long, bro.
Yeah.
Like he,
yeah.
you didn't do
Submission specialist.
Really?
no,
Yeah,
I think he
struggled.
lasted about a minute maybe.
Yeah, I think Luke beat him, man.
Yeah,
Luke
like a
Griffin.
19-year-old
Killison, yeah.
purple
Okay.
belt.
Who's also a fucking
Oh, Luke
killer.
Griffin is the
Yeah.
one that Rich mentioned that wanted to also get in the RFC.
Dude,
Maybe get in
absolute killer.
Dude,
He's, savage,
Luke's
there.
one.
He's over what? What's his weight?
I think he's like 91, eh?
Or maybe get him in the mix
Yeah,
there.
he's
so it'll be
tall,
cool, yeah.
tall,
Dude,
tall.
that
He cut weight by
guy,
moving mats the last time I spoke to him.
that guy has won
Literally,
fights at ADCC trials, like in Europe. Like he's like legit. So yeah, if you guys have a
get
spot for him,
versus-
that's
him
amazing.
versus Stan de Lange again.
Okay, look, we've seen that at fights a
give it a
couple of
little
times.
bit of
This is
time,
good.
Al.
Let's
Give it 6 months.
Okay, so you've got 1,000 of my money. Who are you putting it on?
I'll go Duplessis just because it's Pretoria and I think he will win.
And they used to be training partners for some time.
is it?
Yeah, they know each other.
Pretoria was what in CIT?
He was there for a little bit, yeah.
Oh.
Doesn't he like live on like the other end of Gauteng?
Yeah, I don't know where he lives, dude.
In like Nigel or something stupid.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
but I like him a
This is
lot.
a very close fight, sure.
Kanyebe versus Puerta. Oh, you're talking about Pretorius
Yeah,
versus...
Pretorius,
Yeah. I think it'd be a great fight, to be honest.
But I think the stand-up maybe Pretorius.
Well, he comes from like a long kickboxing background. He's missed the kick.
Yeah.
But he's got a purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So
He's got that jiu-jitsu bug, bro. Once he got that purple belt, he's like, I'm just going to submit fools.
I wonder what that's like. Let's go. Kanye versus Boita.
I can go anywhere here besides Kanye, but obviously I sponsor him as a. So I think.
I think
Let's
I think Aniset's in that kind of place where his confidence is starting to match his technique now. Yeah, I think if Saxon Delafield couldn't really get away with him on the ground, like really dominate him in those sort of exchanges, I just don't see Pierre Boerter doing it. I think Saxon is a guy who's what did they fight at? Was it at welterweight? It was. Can you remember?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But look at the last.
Push the
World
plus.
SCB.
Push the plus.
Where?
Yeah, dude. Those are
Against
big
Saxon.
wins.
No?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a plus at the end there. They fought at lightweight.
Yeah. Sorry, they. So Saxon cut to lightweight. So realistically, you're dealing with a guy that's well over 70 kilos.
But look at all the people he's lost to. Are all grapplers? Well, okay, but barring Elaine, are all grapplers or?
Yeah,
wrestlers?
but bro, let's that's a different
Look at
person
that.
below there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I think so.
We this person that lost to Sindila and then went on to beat Cameron Pritchard, Petey Coxon, Dino Bagatine, Saxon Delafield for a second time, where realistically everybody had counted him out against Saxon, bro.
Did he?
100% they had, because Saxon was also on a tear. And look, dude, he was super impressive against Saxon. And just based on that, I think I would pick him over Pierre Boerter. I think there's gonna be a physicality difference there.
I don't know. I don't know if I bet on this one. It's close because like all my memories of Aniset are kind of winning fights where like there's a question mark. You know, he beat Cam, but he also beat Cam after a terrible cut, and did he really beat Dino as well?
Well, bro.
Sure, this definitely wants to get into a fight at UFC. I'm
No, but
Dude,
so,
I've been impressed with Anisette for a long time.
that being
to be
said,
honest.
I also don't
his
think
boxing is for me, it's brilliant.
That being said, I don't know if Pierre's gonna be able to take what
And there's-
Aniset can.
I still think this is
Fair
a stupid fight. I don't
Yeah.
even know why this is.
You know what I love about Anisette? If you watch him in the zone and in the pocket, how wide his eyes go. He's
Yeah.
like completely dialed in. It's quite hectic.
You've changed my mind. I was gonna bet on Boerter.
You do what you
I'm
wanna
on the
do, bro.
fence.
I think Annie said, yeah, should take this
But
one.
what-
I think he's gonna.
But let's just
Both
cover
can
this.
wrestle him and just make it that type of fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens if Aniset wins?
Nothing.
Like
He didn't beat anyone in the lightweight division.
Yeah, dude, but this is like
Right?
we were saying.
And then
it's
what
just-
happens
it's
if
just
Pierre
keeping
wins?
both guys busy, dude.
And what happens if Pierre wins? And
So
still
now-
nothing happens.
Cummins lost. You said
Yeah,
that?
he's fucked.
So then, what happens then to the?
So
the
let me tell you my opinion, because I was explaining this. I was like, basically, Joe Cummins didn't come out here because him and the EFC couldn't agree on a purse, because it's a
Yeah.
money problem. Now, let me tell you, EFC woke up with Sema on Sunday, and they were like, "What? He lost? Oh no! Now you're gonna come out here for fucking chips, buddy, or bring us our belt and fuck off again." He's in a bad position, but that's what you get for taking silly chances like that. You know what I'm saying?
But
And-
how much money was he gonna make there if he had won?
I don't know. It can't be a lot.
But-
Not on
It was
Mickey
such
Mouse
a small
show.
promotion.
It's a Mickey Mouse show. You can't even find the result. I got sent a message from someone in the UK telling me that he lost, and I
But-
couldn't find it
But is it
anywhere.
more than EFC?
Definitely
I
not.
doubt it. I think it's just
Those-
convenient.
Yeah,
Like-
those sort of shows in the UK, the guys are earning like £1,000, which is like 400 million rand. So I suppose it's not bad.
But like, I mean, it's just convenient for those guys. I don't have to
It is.
fly,
Bro.
they
You're
don't
at
have to, like-
home. You know, it's quick down the road.
The last
Okay.
time he fought at lightweight was 2017.
Oh, bro, you're still going on about this. Get
I'm
over
just
it.
looking. Jeez.
Get over it.
But how do you make money as a fighter like in Africa if you're not working? And like you're just coming up, and obviously there's a lot of sponsors pulled out of the sport, and there are not a lot of sponsors even sponsoring EFC as such. You know, like where's the future at? You know, for us fighters here.
Yeah, Demarte, look, I don't know the answer, but
My man.
my feeling is that without being too offensive to the guys at the EFC, because they've done a spectacular job for the better half of 11 years. My feeling is that it needs a new chain of thought, a new process, a new invigoration of passion that can spread throughout the whole team working there to really try and get this movement going. You know, the way I see it is it needs like a Scott Coker, you know what I mean, who's slightly different from the mold of promoter, to really try and mix things up and change things around. And I don't know, man, we are leaking talent, we are sidelining talent, we are not replacing talent.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you look at, I remember when I first learned about EFC, there was like Costa, Gareth, and Norman. You know, there's so many names that you're like, now you're like, who's gonna, you know?
You know what the biggest catalyst is that up until like EFC 40, EFC 50, EFC 60, everyone knew who the champs were.
Yeah.
But like someone asked me the other day who the one champ was, and I couldn't answer them. I was like,
Let's just like stop and think about it. Yeah.
Then eventually I remembered it was Iga, but like, you know, like there's no more like massive names at the moment. You know, it's hence they start doing fights with James Dalton.
Look, that being said, I think Timber's a great example, who's managed to, in a tough environment, financially and publicity-wise, he's managed to captivate whatever audience there is. He's in your face all the time.
Yeah, he's trying to be out there.
He's trying to be out there. He's trying to do as much as possible. You know what I mean? The EFC love it because he's doing a lot of work.
There's an advantage being actually a foreign African athlete, because here obviously the government will never help you in any way. So if you're from Zimbabwe, they need obviously more people to like be out there, put their name out there, and I think there is a specific advantage. And I know, even let's say you spoke about Zach, the boxer, he's made quite a bit of money from the government that side. Here you go to the government, they'll look at you like, hey, psycho. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there is quite a, like for me as well, like I won quite a few awards in Angola and stuff. So there is a huge advantage being a foreigner. But I think if you are South African and you're just starting out, man, you're going to struggle, bro. You're going to really struggle.
Well, I mean, you have to have another job.
Yeah,
you can't just fight.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
You can't. And to sponsor guys, like the guys that are coming up, I mean, who's going to sacrifice that? So
yeah,
it's unfortunate tough. Where the sport is, and like you said, like now this tournament happened, there was not a lot of guys from the EFC scouting and whatever.
Yeah,
bringing the guys up.
That's the weird one for me, and I've kind of said that before. Now I'm not trying to drag anybody down. I'm just saying it's for me. It comes down to a passion. You understand what I'm saying? And I just don't know if everybody in the EFC, involved in the EFC, has that same passion anymore, whether that's because of the time they've been there or because they're just tired of dealing with the stress of the financial issues and stuff like that. It's hard to say, you know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's a tough situation for everybody. I have the same concerns about the future, if I'm honest. But that being said, MMA is not going to go away. It's not going to die. We might go through a dark patch. We might go through a gold patch again. We don't know. I just feel like there's more that can be done on.
You just need like a billionaire that's just doing it for fun.
You need a heavy financial injection.
Yeah, someone who's just passionate about the sport.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You seem quite.
Because with enough money, you can make anything work, right?
I've got about 100 grand.
Is that okay?
You need someone to like invest that has a lot of connections, like in the media world. You know, like often when you spoke about Maria Sharapova the other day, she gets involved in certain things just because she has way more power than even some people with lots of money have. You know. And like you kind of need someone like that that's got all these connections. They got the money.
Well, Timber just got like the equivalent of 47 million rand from Zimbabwe. So
he got a lack of payday. I don't think I want the Zimbabwean government running the sport though.
Someone's gonna hear that and just start hitting Timber. DMs. Timber. Cool. Main event. I think we know which one Demarte's gonna pick.
No, for sure. Anyway. Yeah. Not just because I'm biased, but you guys will see. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like the fight up with the landscape that's in front of Timber. I think Karim's the obvious choice. I think he poses a lot of threats to Timber. But like Demba will say, there's definitely a level to this.
But I think what I'm most happy about this fight is obviously Lyle Karam will stand up a little bit, but then he'll look to take the fight to the ground. And Temba, ground game is good, so I think we know what Karam's ground game, it's gonna be.
So like, not to detract from Temba's previous win, but like that didn't feel like a title fight. Everyone kind of knew what was going to happen in the fight, and you had someone that hadn't even got a win at.
Good look, Michael.
Yeah. You had someone that didn't even have a win at in welterweight fighting Temba. Like it made no sense. At least now you got someone with a long history of winning in that division. That like this feels more like the actual real title fight.
Yeah.
How do you think he approaches this fight, Karam?
I think Karam's got nothing to lose, which I think makes him quite dangerous in that sense. Obviously, he would like...
His record, bro.
Yeah.
That's
no.
important.
Sure, his record is important, but he's a young guy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, in MMA, you have to face those kind of losses at some point. I just think he seems very relaxed, you know what I mean? And I think that confidence kind of comes from a...
Because he's been winning.
Yeah,
he comes from a grapple-heavy camp, though.
Yeah.
He's from Absolute MMA in
yeah.
St Kilda. So, I mean, you can only imagine.
And when he was here, he used to be a lot with Attila.
Yeah.
So he would obviously want to take the fight.
Isn't that how he beat Mark, though? Didn't he grind Mark out?
Yeah.
Took Mark down, and that's it. And was like a lame.
Because, I mean, everyone was like,
Yeah.
this like for sure not going to beat Mark. And then he like just grounded him out. Like, it's...
yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's definitely going to have a heavy grappling game plan.
I'm most happy that it's 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I think the
Suits
cardio aspect, Temba is worked a lot in his cardio, and he's pushed a lot in conditioning. So if it does come to that point where you feel like we're just trying to drag the fight to the ground, I think we can adjust in the second or third round. So
Do you think there's any chance Lyle Karam has any sort of cardio to grind out a victory against Temba? I just don't think it's possible.
Well, he lives at sea level.
Yeah.
He looked
but
very
besides
very gassed against Pretorius.
He just showed heart in this last fight. Like he
Yeah,
didn't give up, which I think even when he does get tired in this fight, if it gets to that point, he won't give up. But I think Temba will definitely be the fresher fighter. So, but
I see Temba by guillotine.
please,
That's honestly
let
the
it
way
be
I
so.
see it going.
Let it be so.
Well,
But
like-
I hope Temba gets like a knockout.
Yeah.
Like as a fighter, it's frustrating when guys label you a specific way.
So
You're just a grappler.
it's not even about the label. I don't know if Temba. Well, I mean, you would know how he feels about those things. What I was trying to when Temba says these things, he wants to win by knockout and so on. And I kind of think about the geography, like we spoke about, how hard it is to get from here to the UFC. I mean, Temba's obviously got an insane story to sell to an international market. I sat with Temba ages ago, and we dove into his story a little bit, but I still don't think I got the full thing of it. But he's only, just pull up Temba's record for me, please. His only criticism up until this point, I think, in terms of an international market, and this is what I was trying to say the other day. Obviously, I used the wrong words, and he was quite offended about it. But I was saying, and it's not actually his fault. It's the landscape below him. You know what I mean? There's no Karam's a good start. I mean, if you're the UFC realistically, and you're looking at a win over Luke Michael, you're like,
Well, that's a key thing, is that the UFC sign guys that are on their radar, and
Exactly.
they don't sign people that isn't beating people on their radar.
Yeah.
So like he's been dealt a pretty hard hand by having to fight Luke.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he was. So what I was trying to say, so we look at this, Joe Cummins, like, unfortunately for a guy like Temba, Joe Cummins losing to Nick Paddywhack in Birmingham actually is bad news for Temba, because you've got a win over now essentially a nobody. You know what I mean? And according to what the UFC, I'm not saying to me, that's a great win on our
it's a
landscape.
fantastic
It's a massive
win, bro.
win. You lose to Dave Mazzani. Obviously, Temba says there was a lot of things going on for him during that fight. Unfortunately, those things happened. But now Dave was a guy who was trying to get into the UFC that couldn't get into the UFC. Now they're saying, but you've lost to Dave Mazzani. Okay, Jose De Rocha, massive threat. You've grounded him out. You've won a decision. You've beat Luke Michael. We've never heard of him in our lives. You know what I'm saying? So now we're looking at Lyle Karam. So in my mind, if I'm Temba and you're visualizing this fight, you actually you want that knockout because a decision win actually doesn't do too much for you. For here, it's great. You the next biggest threat, you get rid of him, you move on. But the international market, if you walk out and you spark, head kick him, and it's like this massive
It's a
KO
highlight
reel,
reel, bro.
now people are
Yeah.
talking about you. You know what I'm
That'd be
saying?
really
That's
good for you.
unfortunately the way this game goes. That's the
Think
reality.
about when Elaine spinning back kicked BB into the next solar system. That was massive for his career.
Exactly. It's huge.
Like-
That's when everyone started like, okay, this is Elaine Ilunga. Now we
Yeah.
know who he is. Unfortunately, that's the way the game is. The win over Luke Michael and the way it ended, and Luke's trying to say he fell or hit the cage or whatever cuck he was talking, he got beaten the snot out of him. You know what I'm saying? And we get to see this image of his head cracked all over. That's great. You know what I mean? Because that's moving. It's clicking that needle. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to follow that up. And if you're going decision, TKO, decision. But if you're going decision, TKO, KO, now we're starting to build momentum. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I want to see. Unfortunately, we're media and we're trying to be biased. Realistically, what I want is to see African fighters, proper African fighters, living, training, working
Born,
in
living,
Africa,
training
exactly,
in Africa.
going into the UFC. And realistically, right now, Timber's there. He's trying to get there. You know what I mean? So if I'm looking from that point of view, if I'm wearing that hat, I want to see him get that KO to say, okay, Timber's arriving now. You know what I mean? Now we're starting to move this needle big time. Yeah, we're starting to build this up. The question is for me, is if after this fight, if he doesn't get that call, what does he do?
I don't know. To be honest, I can't answer that. But I think you're right. I think it's important that he goes out there and finishes him in an impressive way, and possibly get like a viral thing going. But those things, but winning is very important.
Yes,
regardless
yes,
of
100%,
that.
100%.
I think the priority is to win. Even if he doesn't get the call now, we're just all hopeful that eventually the UFC actually comes here and they're gonna need guys that are training here in Africa. So
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest door that most of the fighters are waiting for. But when it does happen, like to just be a UFC fighter is a cool thing. But bro, you're
It's a
fighting
lot of hard work, bro.
killers there. So
Yeah.
how many guys are ready for that? So you can be okay, I'm a UFC fighter, but then geez, they give you guys that are they're like so I think we also as fighters we gotta be understanding of that when it does happen, it's not gonna be like a party, it's gonna be hard work. So but I have confidence in Temba that he'll be able to finish this fight, and it's gonna be impressive.
100%.
I think he's on the right track by being like quite vocal and out there about wanting
Yeah.
to be
Did-
there though.
Does he have a management company?
No, well now
The Demarte Pena management.
no,
company,
not
bro.
at all.
Hit him up at Demarte Pena.
I think
I'm
now
just joking.
Cairo is the one that manages him in a way to try and get him in the UFC. Because
Okay.
he's been having talks with
Cairo's got
Shelby.
Cairo's got a very strong relationship with the
I
European
think
section.
at the same thing with Gareth, he was like also involved, and I think also
Middleman.
with Dalche as well. Yeah, I think they
And
got
I
a
think
certain
Potts, I think
percentage.
the EFC took a percentage of
Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
no.
they manage them.
Yeah, they take a percentage of your purse. So I think that's where EFC they're quite going with Temba. So when he does fight eventually, we're hoping, then they'll get a percentage of his purse.
Yeah.
So yeah, they smart like that.
Okay, let's wrap this up quickly, Rourke. Let's breeze through that. Otherwise, we're going to be at till 1 in the morning. Let's just go through those bets quickly for those of you that want to make a bet.
So we got
Demarte's laying out. Demarte whispered to me now. You couldn't hear it. He said, "Bet the entire house on these picks that he's given you."
okay, Rimbo,
Remember, yeah.
Mikishi, Simon. Who was the other one on the undercard?
We can go for
We were at Billy Oosthuizen, I think is what we were
Billy
saying.
Oosthuizen as
Yeah,
well.
it
It's a-
was Billy Oosthuizen.
Billy's a good one, yeah.
Where's he? Yeah, boom.
Has Billy fought since the
No,
Ashiashu fight?
no, it's the first one back.
Did we pick Pretorius or Duplessis? No.
This one I
No,
didn't
we
bet,
said.
Okay, so how many bets have we picked there?
You said
6.
Diego, hey? Or do we not?
This
we
one is
not
also a tough
No, I
one.
don't-
I don't
Yeah,
pick.
leave
I don't
that
bet
out.
on debutants. That's my new rule.
Cole
After
Henning.
only losing.
How many bets? How many picks have we got there?
We got Sindile. We got Garimbo. We got Billy. We got Aniset. Got Mikishi, and we got Simon. 6.
So 6, yeah.
So $100 gets you 9.5.
Get you 950.
950.
The maximum possible winnings 1,121.99 cents for the chappies. Not a bad day's work.
Not at all.
If you're feeling ballsy, put 1,000 rand.
Sure.
Yo.
Cool guys, Demarte, thank you so much for your
Thank
time,
you
man.
for having
That's,
me, man.
I really tip my hat for you to come and deal with people like us that have been making many biogen jokes in the past and other sorts of bullshit. It shows a lot of your character.
But I understand, man. It's the game, man. It's the game.
We mean no offense, and we appreciate it very much, and we really look forward to seeing you back in there, man. I think it's going to be massively exciting.
Any shout outs like RFC? When is that going down?
RFC 28th of March. Obviously we got Adam versus Jamie, and we got a title fight.
Chris versus Jamie.
Yeah, Chris Bright.
Sorry, my bad. I was still stuck on that one.
Yeah. You don't want to let this Adam thing go.
Yeah, no, but he'll be back, so hopefully he fights the winner. That's gonna be an awesome one. Also, we got obviously Shannon versus Hadebe for the title, and we got another title fight, flyweight title. So really excited about that, and we're just trying to grow the sport and go and support us, please.
And where can we buy your gear?
DemartePena.com. There's all my gear there, selling MMA gloves, shin pads, and the sorts. So yeah, support local brands, and yeah. Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Those gloves are definitely the slickest looking gloves I've seen locally for sure.
Thank you so much, my man. No dragons and all kind of shit.
Yeah, please, no dragons.
But where can we get dragon ones? I want a dragon eating a skull.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
damn
okay.
straight. But the skull must be on fire.
Okay,
Yes.
Cool, guys. We'll catch you soon. Make sure you check out Burgers and Breakdowns episode 1, which is on YouTube now. Make sure you go to BGR. Don't go.
Give some suggestions for the next venue.
Yeah. Well, I think we decided that though. We're going a bit oriental.
Whoever
We're gonna do some
the
bow and breakdowns.
The one
Bow
we
and
pick,
breakdown.
the person who suggested it gets to come with.
And then we can do those Portuguese
Francesinha.
Francesinhas
those
out
ones.
in the south.
Those are ridiculous.
I feel like we're
Don't
gonna
know.
get very fat and have very expensive. Well, I'm already there, so I'm halfway there, and petrol bill's gonna get heavy. We'll chat to you soon. Peace.
Thanks.